A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all old-time radio.
Jerry at Fair Oaks.
As ruler. Then he again returned to Rome. He returned as a conqueror and became dictator for life. Now Cassius, heading a group of powerful men, became jealous, and their dissension resulted in the plot to assassinate Caesar.
Hey, Jerry. Yeah, what? Only a couple of more minutes now. Hey, do you think the list will be posted? Sure. They said it would be by the time class was out.
Cadet Dugan.
Yes, sir?
Tell me now, just when did that take place? The day, the month, and the year?
I'm sorry, Professor. I didn't get the question.
Were you paying attention?
Yes, sir.
The question was, when was Caesar assassinated by Brutus?
Let's see. That was 49 B.C. Then in 55 B.C.
Come, Dugan. That was part of my lecture yesterday.
Yes, sir. I know it was.
Well?
55 and then... I don't remember, sir.
Oh, that's too bad. I'm sorry.
Was it 24 B.C.?
You're just guessing now, my boy. I'm sorry you missed that part of the lecture. It's very important that you remember all of the dates. Well, time's up. I'll have to dismiss the class now, but I'll be very glad to help you, Dugan. We'll go over what I spoke about yesterday. You just remain seated. The rest of you may go now.
Yeah, I'll see you in the hallway by the bulletin board, Jerry. And try to hurry it up. Too bad you got stuck. I'll be out of here in no time. Watch me. I've got to find out if my name's on the list. Okay. I'll be waiting for you.
Now, Dugan, if you'll just come up to my desk here.
Yes, sir.
Just pull that chair up. Sit here next to me.
Yes, sir.
Now then, in stressing these things, I have a very definite reason. If you're to get the most out of the history of the Roman Empire, you must remember all of the dates. They have so much bearing on the ensuing events. You understand that, don't you?
Oh, yes, sir. But I thought that...
Now, just a moment. I'm fully aware, Dugan, that these things may not seem to be of any real importance to you at the time.
Oh, no, sir. But what I wanted to know...
Let me finish.
Yes, sir.
In later years, you will no doubt come to feel as I do. Why, to be without a perfect understanding of ancient history is a crime. Yes, I'll go so far as to say that. To face the world and its problems without it is like a carpenter trying to build a house without tools. The knowledge is here for you, Dugan, and I want so much to help you get it.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Now to get back. Yes. What was the question you fell down on?
You asked me when Caesar was assassinated.
Oh, yes, that's right. That's the question. Now, think hard. Was it 44 B.C.?
Yes, that's it. 44 B.C.
See there? You recognized the date right off.
Yes, sir. I just couldn't think of it a while ago. But, Professor Custis,
we'll take one thing at a time. Now, do you recall the day and the month?
Please, sir, I'd like to ask
I'll
you...
answer all of your questions, Dugan. Now, let's get this date first. Now, was it March?
March. Yeah, I think it was.
That's right. It was March. Now, do you recall the date?
Yes, sir, I've got it now. The 15th of March, 44 B.C.
Right. Absolutely correct. Now, you see, it wasn't so hard. Try to remember that now.
Yes, sir, I will. Now, may I...
Yes. What's your question now?
Well, sir, they're posting the list on the bulletin board. Maybe it's up already.
The list? What list?
The list of cadets that have been picked to take the riding test for the mounted drill team.
I don't believe I understand you, Dugan. The riding team? Oh, yes. I see. Oh, the mounted drill team. Yes.
I wanted to see if... Well, I'm anxious to find out if I was picked.
Naturally. Yes, you would be. I think it's very fine that you boys take an active interest in the outdoor sports.
Yes, sir. May I please...
I was somewhat of an athlete myself when I was your age. Yes, but that's going back a few years. Quite a few years. Almost like ancient history.
I hope I made it.
What's that?
Oh, nothing, sir. I was just saying I hope I made it.
Do you think your name might be on the list?
Yes, sir, I do.
Well, run along then and find out. If I was in your shoes, I could hardly wait.
Thank you, sir.
I hope you're fortunate, Dugan.
Thank you, Professor.
Come on, hurry it up.
Whew. Gee, I thought I'd never get out of there.
Take a look at that list.
Is my name up there? Let's see. Hey, is it? Right up on top.
I knew it would be.
Hey, wait a minute. Let's see who the others are. Red Morrison and Paul Warren.
Mm-hmm. Did you notice you're the only plebe on the list?
Yeah, I made it. So far, so good. Hey, what's next?
Well, read the rest of that notice.
Oh, yeah. As soon as the time for the test is determined, cadets whose names appear on this list will be notified direct. Sergeant Alden.
What's that grin on your face for?
Oh, wouldn't you be grinning, too?
You just bet I would, Jerry. Hey, come on, let's go over to the room.
Okay.
Did you notice Red's name was up there?
Mm-hmm. I wonder how come.
Why not?
Well, I thought when he was taken off the polo team, he was all through riding.
No, he's worked off all of his demerits and been reinstated as a cadet officer. There's no reason why he shouldn't try out as long as he can ride. Of course, his position on the polo team's gone.
Hey, how's Warren doing? Did you hear?
Yes, seems to me I did. Let's see, who was it? Oh, I think Ted Metcalf told me that Paul was doing all right. Too bad you didn't make it.
Oh, I don't care. I'd just soon be on the mounted drill team.
Yeah, you might get into polo later on.
Sure, maybe. Oh, wait a minute.
Where you going?
Well, while we're so close, I want to see if there's any mail for me. I'll look for you, too.
Okay, but you didn't have to run away like that.
I got one.
Oh, good.
But there wasn't anything for you.
Well, that's okay. I wasn't expecting anything.
Yeah, this is a nice fat letter from Mr. Randall.
Well, aren't you going to open it?
Hey, let's go over to one of the alumni benches.
Okay. It's your letter.
I can't read while I'm walking. I got to sit down.
Kind of fussy, aren't you?
Well, can you read while you're walking?
Sure.
Yeah, but not as good as standing still or sitting down.
All right, you win.
I wonder what he's got to say. I haven't had a letter for about a week.
So that's right, you haven't.
Not since the one when he turned me down about the money to loan to Mac.
Yeah, well, it's just as well it turned out that way now.
What do you mean?
Well, Mac might have spent the money and got his working model already before he found out his idea was already invented.
I see what you mean. And boy, would Mr. Randall laugh at me if that happened.
I'll say he would.
Bumps used to always say to me that things happen for the best.
I guess that's a good way to feel.
Sure it is. Well, come on and sit down while I read my letter.
You going to read it out loud?
Well, do you want to hear it?
Mm-hmm, go ahead.
Okay. Dear Jerry, sorry to have kept you waiting for a letter so long, but we've been very busy. Just finished 6 one-night stands in a row, and you know what that is.
What is it, Jerry?
Oh, one-night stands means that the circus just plays in a town one day and then moves right on to the next town.
Oh, I see. Go ahead.
And you know what that is. Bumps and Jason and Patsy are all fine and asked to be remembered. Rags is fine, too, and Bumps asked me to tell you that he's doing 2 new tricks with him. Some new kind of somersault tricks. I haven't had a chance to see them yet. I was very glad to learn, Jerry, that you tried out for the polo team. What experience you received with the circus and the tips Whitey gave you about horses should prove of great value.
Whitey was the man in charge of the horses for the circus?
Uh-huh. Let me finish this now.
Okay, I'm sorry.
By the way, Splendor has grown so big you won't know him anymore. He's not the little colt he was when you left. That's the colt I broke in, Lee.
Oh.
I was the first one that ever rode him.
Dave, you got a picture of him, Jerry?
No, I haven't. I wish I did have, though. Hey, wait a minute. Must hurry this along now. But before I close, I want to tell you that I'm sending you a surprise. I might add a big surprise. It should reach you about the same time this letter gets there. I hope you're pleased, Jerry. Be sure to write and let me know how you like it. With all good wishes from your circus friends and myself, Sam Randall.
Wonder what the surprise is.
He says I might add a big surprise. Hey, maybe it's a package or something. I didn't look for a package. Hey, come on, let's go back over to Custis Hall and see if it's there yet.
Okay. He said it should be here by the same time the letter gets here.
Well, maybe it is. Well, I sure hope so. Yeah, I wonder what it is. A big surprise. What could it be? Hey, come on, let's hurry.
It's probably a box of something.
A box of what?
Search me. But whatever it is, it's most likely there on that rack with packages under the mailbox.
Boy, this sure looks like my lucky day.
It does, doesn't it?
All except having to stay after class.
Oh, I meant to ask you. What did old Custy say to you? You didn't get called down, did you?
No, he was nice. Any other time, I'd have been glad to stay and talk with him. I like Professor Custis.
Oh, yeah, all the fellas like old stormy weather. Did you know he's got a lifetime job here at Fair Oaks?
No, is that so?
Mm-hmm. You knew Custis Hall was named after him, didn't you?
Uh-huh, but I don't know why.
Well, Professor Custis was a lifelong friend of Colonel Montgomery Davis, the man that founded Fair Oaks. Custis Hall was the first building erected at Fair Oaks and named after him by Colonel Davis in tribute to his friend.
Gee, that's nice, isn't it?
Mm-hmm, sure is.
Oh, boy, I sure hope that surprise package is here now.
You don't know for sure it is a package.
Well, whatever it is, I hope it's here.
I do, too. You even got me anxious about it.
Well, if it isn't here now, I guess it won't come until tomorrow, will it?
No, that's right. There won't be another mail until tomorrow morning. Well, there's the rack for the packages.
Yeah. I don't see any package.
No, either. Say, I got an idea. How about asking Major Davis? I mean, if it came registered or special delivery, he might have it in his office. Come on, his office is right over here.
Okay.
Enter. Well, Cadet Dugan.
Yes, sir.
You're just the man I'm looking for. I was just about to send an orderly to find you. Sergeant Alden called me a few minutes ago and told me he was very anxious for you to come right out to the stable.
I'll go right out, sir.
Now, wait a minute. I'd like to go along with you. I'll just get my cap here. Well, there we are.
Say, I'll see you over at the room, Jerry.
Oh, don't you want to come along, Lee?
Well, sir, if it's all right.
Certainly. Come along with us.
Excuse me, Major.
Yes?
Did Sergeant Alden say what he wanted to see me about?
He said it was very urgent, Jerry.
Very urgent. Gee, I wonder what it could be.
for an early rehearsal. And at the moment, we find Rochester in the library preparing for their arrival.
Oh, man, Benny, that old man, Benny, he won't waste nothing and don't spend nothing. He just keeps rolling. He keeps on rolling.
Rochester.
Can it be the tree that fell and that is going to give? Oh, no, it isn't.
Rochester, I've been calling you.
Sorry, boss, I was carried away with my voice.
Oh, fine.
Well, I'm becoming quite a popular singer. You know, they call Bing Crosby the Droner.
Uh-huh.
And they call Andy Russell the Swooner.
I know. What do they call you?
The Razor's Edge.
You sound more like the yearling. Now, Rochester, my cast should be here soon for rehearsal. My cast comes later, by the way. Have you got everything ready?
Yes, sir. I've got the chairs, the scripts, and the pencils.
Good.
And I filled the Coca-Cola machine and turned off the water.
Turn the water on again. At our last rehearsal, Miss Livingston fainted. Nobody had a nickel. We had an awful time bringing her to. Anyway, this is the holiday season, and I'd like to serve them the eggnog I told you to make this morning. You did make it, didn't you?
Yes, sir.
Is it good?
Want to smell my breath?
No. No, I'm on the wagon. But you know, Rochester, that's a strange drink. I wonder why anyone would ever think of mixing eggs and bourbon.
It's purely psychological, boss.
Psychological?
Yeah, you see, the eggs make you think you're getting something very helpful.
Uh-huh.
And the bourbon makes that fact unimportant.
Well, that's logical. By the way, Rochester, how much eggnog did you make?
About 250 gallons.
250 gallons? For goodness sake, well, I don't want to drink it. I mean, I don't want to bathe in it. I want to drink it. I don't want to bathe in it. Don't look at me like that. I defy your next line to get a laugh.
Well, to each his own.
You fooled me. All right. Make some sandwiches, too.
Yes.
Come away with me, Lucille, in my merry Oldsmobile. I'll get it, Rochester. You can go as far as you like with me in my merry Oldsmobile. I think I'll get a green one. It blends into the sagebrush on Mulholland Drive.
Hello, Jack.
Oh, Mary, come on in. You're the first one here.
Jack, how come you call rehearsal so early?
Well, Mary, to tell you the truth, I have a date tonight with Gladys Zabisco.
Gladys Zabisco? Oh, Jack, surely you can do better than that.
Look, Mary, Gladys is very nice. She may not be the most beautiful girl in the world, but she got a nice figure.
I know, but does she have to walk that way?
Mary, that's not her fault. She's nearsighted, and she anticipates the curb in the middle of the block. Anyway, we're going to have a nice time. I'm taking her to a nightclub.
Slapsy Maxies?
Slapsy Maxies with Gladys? Not after what happened last time.
No, Jack, it wasn't the manager's fault that people came up to her and said, "May I have your autograph, Maxie?"
Imagine mistaking Gladys for Slapsy Maxie. She's only got one cauliflower ear. By the way, Mary, would you like a glass of eggnog?
Oh, sure, Jack. I'd love to have a... Wait a minute. Who made the eggnog?
Rochester. Why? What's the matter?
Well, last Christmas I tasted some of Rochester's eggnog, and the next thing I knew I was at the Rose Bowl game.
Oh, you saw the game?
Saw it nothing. I was playing left tackle for Alabama.
Stop kidding. Now, come on, have one. I'll get it. Hello?
Hello, Mr. Benny. This is Dennis. What time is rehearsal?
1 o'clock.
Well, what time is it now?
1:45.
Oh, then I guess I won't have enough time to shave.
Dennis, why should it take you 15 minutes to shave?
I haven't got the fuzz yet.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
It takes me 3 months to get a 5 o'clock shadow.
All right, now hurry over here. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
All that fuzz over a little fuzz.
Jack, was that Dennis on the telephone?
Yeah, it was me.
Yeah, he said... Dennis! Now, how'd you get here so quickly?
I was on the extension in the kitchen.
Oh.
I would have been here sooner, but I couldn't get a cab.
Stop that. Now, Dennis, will you stop being so silly and have a glass of eggnog?
Oh, boy, eggnog. That's for me. Wait a minute. Who made that eggnog?
Rochester.
Uh-uh.
Why not?
Last Christmas, I tasted some of Rochester's eggnog, and the next thing I knew, Mary was playing in the Rose Bowl.
Yeah, I know.
Say, Dennis, I meant to ask you, how do you like your broadcast on its new time?
Oh, swell. We did our first one last Wednesday, and we have a new slogan for the program.
Slogan?
Yeah. Listen to Dennis Day on Wednesday.
Say, that's cute. Listen to Dennis Day on Wednesday.
Wouldn't it be awful if my name was Hassenpfeffer?
What?
Listen to Hassenpfeffer on Wassenpfeffer Day.
Yeah, tune in next week at the same Hassenpfeffer. I know.
Say, Jack, I forgot to tell you I got a note from Mama yesterday.
Mama, you did? Well, what did the Judy Canova of Plainfield have to say?
She was very excited about my sister Babe taking my place in the program.
Really?
But you know, Jack, you made a mistake when you announced that it was Babe's first appearance.
Mary, you mean your sister's been on the radio before?
Uh-huh. Mama said Babe's been on the Bride and Groom program 4 times.
4 times?
And she wants to go on again, but they won't let her.
Why?
Because every time they pause 10 seconds for station identification, the groom gets away.
Holy smoke, what does Babe do?
What can she do? She leans into the microphone, calls Dr. IQ, and says, "I'll take that gentleman you have in the balcony."
Mary, if I didn't know your sister, Babe, I think you were making the whole thing up. Come in.
Hello, Jack, Mary, Dennis.
Oh, hello.
Hello, Don. Hi, kid. Come on in, Don. We're about ready to rehearse.
Jack, before we do anything, I want to show you something.
What?
Look.
Don, you're wearing the shoelaces I gave you for Christmas. How nice.
Don, you can take the card off. Everybody knows who gave them to you.
Well, I'm not taking it off. I want to make sure people know what a cheap gift Jack gave me.
What?
13 years I've been with you, Jack. 13 years. And you show your appreciation with a lousy pair of shoelaces.
Well. That's certainly gratitude for you. What are you complaining about, Don? That certainly wasn't such a hot gift you sent me.
What did he send you, Jack?
A gold watch. A wristwatch, yet.
Well, what's wrong with a gold watch?
What's wrong with it? You walk down the street wearing an expensive thing like that, somebody hits you over the head, takes it away from you, and your money, too. Anyway, Don, let's shake hands and forget the whole thing.
Okay, Jack, I'm sorry I lost my temper.
Oh, that's all right, Don. So, by the way, would you like a glass of eggnog?
Eggnog? Say, that's one of my favorite... wait a minute. Who made it?
Rochester. What's the matter with Rochester's eggnog?
Last Christmas I tasted some, and the next thing I knew,
Dennis was playing Mary in the Rose Bowl. Everybody comes in with the same thing. Hiya, Jackson. Hello, everybody. Happy New Year. Happy New Year, Bill. Hi, everybody. Hey, Jackson. What? Hey, what's the idea of calling the rehearsal so early? Well, I'm going to a nightclub, Bill. I got a date. With a girl? What do you think, a horse? Well, it could be. Could be. They're running at Santa Anita again, and oats are cheaper than orchids. Oh, Harris, you ought to be with Joan Crawford and John Garfield. You're so humorous. Phil, why don't you jump in the lake and see if that point on your head will right underwater?
Oh, come on, Jack. Everyone's here. Let's get on with the rehearsal.
Okay. Oh, by the way, Phil, would you like a glass of eggnog? Eggnog? Now you're talking, brother. Eggnog. Where's that? Hey, wait a minute. Who made that eggnog? Rochester. Oh, lead me to it. Lead me to it, Daddy. Oh, Rochester, will you pour a glass of eggnog for Mr. Harris? Yes, sir.
The officers.
Oh, thank you, Roch. Oh, this looks wonderful. Shangri-La with a head on it. Hey, tell me something, Roch. How'd you make this eggnog?
I use 1 egg to 5 quarts of bourbon.
1-5, huh? Well, here's down the hatch. What happened? Are you sure that egg was fresh?
Bring it down, Mr. Harris. The first sip's the hardest.
Okay, here goes. Well, Phil, how do you like it? Phil, how do you like it? Jackson, what are you doing here at the Rose Bowl? I'm not at the Rose Bowl yet. Rochester, pour me a ticket.
Yes, sir. I'll take your glass, Mr. Harris.
Well, Buddy Young, what are you doing? Look, Phil, you had your drink, you had your joke. Now let's get on with the rehearsal. Dennis, we'll have your song first.
Okay.
Kid, let's rehearse the script and make it quick so I can leave early. Say, would any of you kids like to join us? I'm taking Gladys to a nightclub.
Oh, thanks, Jack, but I can't make it. Me either.
I'd like to go, Jack.
Okay. How about you, Dennis?
Sure, fine. I'll take Mary.
Well, that'll be swell.
Say, Mary, will you give me a kiss when I take you home?
Well, I don't know, Dennis. I'll think about it.
Well, think fast, sister. I ain't blowing my dough for nothing.
Dennis.
I heard that line in the movies, but I never had a chance to use it before.
I'm glad you got it off your chest. Now, kid.
Hey, Jackson, what are you going out tonight for? Why don't you wait till New Year's Eve?
No, Rochester and I always celebrate New Year's Eve at home.
At home?
Yeah, 5 minutes to 12, I tiptoe up to Mr. Barry's room, wake him up, he blows the horn, falls back on the pillow, and that's it.
Yeah. What are you laughing at, Mary?
You just can't get away from it, can you, Jack?
Away from what?
The horn blows at midnight.
Oh, cut it out, will you, kid? We've got a... Oh, my goodness, look what time it is. I'll tell you what. We can all go over the script tomorrow morning. I got to leave now and pick up Gladys. Come on, Mary. Come on, Dennis, let's go.
You'll never get a table in this nightclub. It's too crowded.
Yeah, look at all those people in that little room. Boy, are they jammed together.
That's the coat room. Those are coats.
Oh, I wondered why they didn't have their pants on.
Never mind. I'll get a table. Come on, Gladys.
Right behind you, sweetie.
Good. Now, let's see. Where's the head waiter? Oh, Mister, yeah. Are you the head waiter?
Well, what do you think I am in this tuxedo? A chill for Forest Lawn?
Look, I'd like to get a table for 4.
Well, thank heavens you didn't ask for 5.
Why?
I wouldn't sit with you for $1 million.
Cut that out and get us a table.
All right, walk this way.
It's an old gag, but I'll try. Come on, kid.
Here you are, folks.
Say, this is a pretty good table at that, isn't it, Gladys?
It sure is, Speedy.
Boy, what a crowd. Mary, where are you sitting?
Right behind you, Speedy.
Well, pull your chair over. Well, kid, come on, let's order.
Pardon me, folks, pardon me, but have you seen my wife?
No, we haven't seen her.
Oh, well, thank you, and a happy
Same to you. Now, let's see. What do I don't know what I wanted.
Happy New Year, ladies and gentlemen. This is Herbie Vigran, your master of ceremonies for the evening. Now, in just a minute, we're going to have some dancing. But while the orchestra is setting up, I've got a little joke for you.
Hey, this guy looks pretty sharp, doesn't he, Gladys?
I've only got eyes for you, Stevie.
I know.
Oh, brother.
A funny thing happened on the way to the club tonight. The panhandler stopped me on the street and said, "Hey, mister, would you give me $50 for a cup of coffee?" So I said to him, $50 for a cup of coffee? And he said, "Yeah, I want to drink it at the Rose Bowl game."
What a lousy joke. I wonder if Fred Allen knows that guy's stealing his stuff. That was awful, wasn't it, Gladys?
Ain't it the truth?
Yeah.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, everybody dance!
What do you say we dance, kids? Come on, Dennis, get up.
Gee, I'd love to, but what will the girls do?
I mean, you dance with Mary. Gladys and I'll sit this one out.
Come on, Dennis.
Gee, you're a swell dancer, Mary.
Well, thanks, Dennis, but don't hold me so tight.
Okay. Hey, Libby, have you ever thought about getting married?
What?
I got my own show now, you know.
Oh, Dennis, stop being silly.
If you turn me down, I'll kill myself.
Dennis, you're crazy, but you're kind of cute.
Gladys, should we get up on the floor and show them something?
A little later, Speedy. Let's sit here, just the two of us.
Okay.
Say, Speedy, do you mind if I hold your hand?
No. I'd love you to, Gladys.
Thanks. Gee, Speedy, your hand is as smooth as silk.
You've got my tie. You know, Gladys, when we're holding hands, I feel like a heel.
Oh, sugar boy, don't talk like that.
Well, I can't help it. I never should have let you take that job. The pipe wrench has skinned your knuckles.
I know, but thanks to me, West Los Angeles has sewers now. By the way, it was thoughtful of you to send me the perfume for Christmas.
That's all right. Anyway, it won't be long now. 3 more miles, the pipe will be out of the beach, and you can quit.
Pardon me, folks, pardon me, but have you seen my wife?
No, we haven't.
Oh, well, thank you, and a happy New Year.
Same to you. Come on, Gladys, let's dance.
Right behind you, Speedy.
Hey, this is swell music, isn't it, Gladys?
You said it.
Yeah. I love dancing with you. Da-da-da-dum, dee-bum, dee-da-da-dum. Da-da-da-dee-dum, dee-da-da-dee.
Ouch, my foot!
Oh, I'm sorry, Tootsie Roll. I hope I didn't dirty your shoes.
No, I left them under the table.
I thought you looked shorter.
The night is young, the skies are clear, and if you want to go walking, dear, it's delightful, it's delicious, it's
Look, my quartet.
LSM, OMFD, that's for me. It's delightful, it's delicious, it's delightful. You can tell at a glance what a swell night this is from what you can hear, dear.
That's my quartet, the Sportsmen. So this is where they're working.
Well, folks, are you ready to order your dinner?
Yeah, I'm hungry. What do you have, Gladys?
Recapere on a rack, save the grease.
Gladys, this isn't a drive-in. Waiter, she wants scrambled eggs on toast. What do you have, Mary?
I don't think they've got them here, but I'd like a chicory sandwich.
Yes, ma'am. Shall I fill the holes with mustard, or do you like to play peekaboo?
Bring the mustard on the side. We'll add lib. Now, let's see. I think I'll have crab meat Louis. You order, Dennis.
I'll have spaghetti Louis.
Spaghetti Louis?
I thought that was the waiter's name.
Of course not.
It is too.
Louis?
No,
No, spaghetti.
Well, hurry the food, waiter.
Pardon me, folks, pardon me, but have you seen my wife?
No, we haven't seen your wife.
Well, if you ever do, you'll know why I started drinking.
What?
Huh? Here we are.
I didn't think he was going to come down that time. What a guy.
Ladies and gentlemen, before we start our gala floor show, I'd like to say that we're honored tonight by having with us a very famous celebrity.
Oh, I wish they'd leave me alone in this place.
This gentleman whom you all love is a very popular star of stage, screen, and radio.
Gladys, let me have your comb.
Here you are.
Oh, I take great pleasure in presenting to you that popular idol of millions, Rodney Dangerfield.
What? We have to be sitting at the next table.
You've all seen Mr. Dangerfield in those outstanding Western pictures, and with a little encouragement, maybe we can get him to say a few words.
Thank you, folks. Thank you kindly. It sure is a thrill and a pleasure to meet so many of my fans.
What a ham.
And I'd like to say that my next picture, Hopalong Shapiro, is going to be even better than my last picture, The Cactus Blooms at Midnight.
So that's me.
And now, friends, I'd like to introduce my co-star who's right here at the table with me. Take a bow, Desert Fame.
How do you like that? He even brought his horse. Gladys, give me your handkerchief. Thanks.
Anyway, you folks didn't come to hear me talk all night. So I just wanted to...
Pardon me, Mr. Dangerfield. Would you please put your autograph on this menu?
Why, certainly, miss.
Thank you.
So, folks, I just want to wish you a very happy and prosperous New Year.
Imagine introducing a ham like Rodney Dangerfield. Come on, kids, let's get out of here.
But, Jack, we ordered food.
I don't care what we ordered. Let him give it to the horse. I'm going home.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have another celebrity with us tonight. None other than Jack Benny.
Well.
Are you going to stay now, Jack?
Certainly. What are you mad about? Sit down, Gladys. Ladies and gentlemen, Master of Ceremonies, my worthy colleague, Mr. Dangerfield, and... Why don't you turn your head? Ladies and gentlemen, for a moment I want you to forget that I'm Jack Benny, that scintillating star of stage, screen, and radio. I want to talk to you as one of your friends. I want to take this opportunity to wish all of you and yours and everybody all over the world good health and happiness throughout the year. And now I'd like to tell you just a few things about my next picture. My next picture. Guest next week will be Miss Lauren Bacall. Happy New Year, everybody.
Good health to all from Rexall. It's the Phil Harris Alice Faye Show, presented by the makers of Rexall drug products and 10,000 independent Rexall family druggists.
Good evening. This is your Rexall family druggist speaking to you for all 10,000 of us. The 10,000 independent druggists who have made the word Rexall part of our own store names. You've learned to know us by the orange and blue Rexall sign on our windows. But our best identification is that we carry the 2,000 or more drug products made with the Rexall Drug Company. Many of you are already familiar with some of these famous products, like Rexall Plenamins, for example. 2 of these handy little capsules give you more than your daily minimum requirement of every vitamin for which such requirements have been established. Yes, Rexall Plenamins are a good example of the unvarying quality which enables 10,000 family druggists to tell you you can depend on any drug product that bears the name Rexall.
Good health to all from Rexall. And now your Rexall Family Druggist brings you the Phil Harris Alice Faye Show. Written by Ray Singer and Dick Chevrolet, with Elliot Lewis, Walter Tetley, Robert North, Janine Roos, Ann Whitfield, Walter Sharp and his music, yours truly, Bill Foreman, and starring Alice Faye and Phil Harris. This morning, there seems to be a little excitement in the Harris household. Phil has gone out to the garage to get his car when suddenly he comes bursting back into the house.
Alice, something terrible has happened. Out of my way. Let me hit that phone.
Oh, take it easy, Phil. Calm down. What's wrong?
My car's been stolen. Call the police. Call the FBI. Get Sam Spade.
Phil, your car hasn't been stolen. Frankie borrowed it this morning. Uh-huh.
Borrowed my new chartreuse Cadillac. I've only had it 2 weeks, and he's borrowed it 8 times already. How can that guy be so inconsiderate? How am I supposed to get downtown?
Oh, Frankie arranged for your transportation.
How?
He left you a transfer for the Hollywood bus.
Oh, gee whiz, suppose he wrecks my car.
If you ask me, it'll look better in that condition. Why on earth did you buy a car with such an awful color scheme?
Get who's knocking, chartreuse. To hear you talk, you'd think you never saw a chartreuse convertible with pale fudge fenders.
Philip, what made you get a chartreuse car?
He wanted something to match his shoes.
He has shoes that color?
Why, to hear you talk, you'd think you never saw chartreuse shoes with pale fudge tongues.
Philip, I don't know why you put up with Francis. He does the most awful things. Why, that man doesn't have one redeeming quality.
That ain't so. Remley's all right. Everybody has bad points. He just happens to have a higher score than anybody.
Frankie's always borrowing your car. He wrecked 2 of them last year, and, well, it makes me mad.
Well, I don't mind too much. Why should it make you mad?
Because I can't afford to keep buying you new ones. Maybe it'd be cheaper if I bought Frankie a car.
Hold it, Luella. I ain't going to have my wife buying some other guy a car. I'll buy him one.
With what?
I'll pay for it out of my mad money. I'll let him go down and pick out a cheap used car for himself.
Phil, you know Frankie won't pick out a cheap used car for himself. He'll pick out the best new one on the market.
No, he won't. Not the way I'm going to handle it. With my plan, I'll guarantee he'll be the one to suggest a used car. I'll tell him it's for you and that I'm... Wait a minute, I'll get it. Hi, Curly. Well, good morning, Mr. Remley. Nice of you to return my car.
Who's returning it? I ran out of gas. I came back to get your credit card.
Remley, you ain't getting no credit card. And furthermore, I want you to stop driving my car, and that's final.
That's okay with me. I wouldn't drive it again anyway until you had it repainted. That awful chartreuse color is affecting my social life.
Frankie, it's a beautiful greenish yellow.
Yeah, that's the trouble. It looks like an unripe taxi.
Now, look here, Remley.
Every time I stop to pick up a girl, she jumps in and yells, "Follow that cab!"
Now, listen, I'm not going to stand...
I don't mind that, but the ticking of the meter is making me nervous.
Well, I don't care if... What meter?
The one I had put in this morning, so it shouldn't be a total loss. Gee, Curly, I don't know.
Will you call a cab? I have to go downtown.
Excuse me, Curly, I got a customer. Get in, lady. Oh,
hello, Frankie.
Oh, Alice.
Bill, did you tell him about buying the car?
What car?
No, honey, I haven't had a chance to tell him that. He just came in.
What car?
Well, it's a car. You see, I'm going to buy a new car for someone very close to me.
Oh, gee, Curly, that's sweet of you. I don't know what to say, except let's get over to the Cadillac agency and pick one out for me.
Just a minute, Remley. This car don't happen to be for you. You see, I'm buying the car for Alice.
Alice? But I'm the one who needs it. Why does she... Oh, well, that's life. Money goes to money. Them who has gets.
And Frankie, you know, you have such excellent taste. I'd appreciate it if you'll help Phil pick a car for me, will you?
Okay, but my heart won't be in it.
Thanks, Frankie. Well, I have to run along now. See you later.
Fine thing. I need a car myself, and I got to go help buy one for somebody else.
Oh, Frankie, don't feel that way about it. Look, I'll tell you what. If there's any money left after buying Alice's car, I'll give it to you, and you can buy one of your own.
If there's any money left over, I can have it?
Yeah. Now, let's go down and pick out a nice new car for Alice.
New car? I got a better idea. Let's get her a used car.
Yeah. Maybe a good used car will be all right. But, where can I find a reliable used car dealer?
I know a guy.
I figured you would. Look, Remley, I got $300 to spend, and I don't want to be gypped. Now, is this guy you know, is he honest?
Please, Curly. I'll thank you not to cast any aspersions on Hot Heap Harrigan.
Hot Heap Harrigan? Is he the guy who used to be with Nothing Down Brown?
That's the gentleman.
Well, in that case, okay, let's go see him. Come on.
I'd better go see Hot Heap alone, Curly.
Why?
Well, why? Well, he doesn't like strangers. Being a typical used car salesman, he's shy and reticent. Besides, if I go alone, I can get a better price from him.
Okay. Now, here's the $300, but remember, Remley, pick out something nice for Alice. Something you yourself would like. Now, don't try to save anything.
Well, you know me better than that. I'll pick out the best used car they got for Alice. I'll see you soon.
Little does he realize that the automobile he is picking for Alice is in reality for himself.
Well, now that I've reset the plot, I think I'll sing. I got my Sunday best on, going strutting with my Laura Lee. She's waiting for me, and I'll be there, I declare, with an hour to spare. And when we're walking arm in arm down the boulevard, ooh, golly, I'm proud. Have a look at that crowd. Hey, pop, call the cop for the traffic will stop, 'cause she's so adorable. My Laura Lee is hot as high. My bundle of guys, yo, gee. So don't blame me for highfalutin'. It got my horn out, and I'm a tootin' it bust each button when I'm out strutting with my Laura Lee. That's why he is looking like a million. He's got that $1 million glow. He's stepping out. Tell you if you really want to know. I've got my Sunday best on, going strutting with my Laura Lee. She's waiting for me, and I'll be there, I declare, with an hour to spare. We pass the corner where the boys always hang around. They give her the eye as we're going by. That's fine, that's the sign that they know that she's mine.
We all agree that she's adorable, your Laura Belle Lee. She's all that a girl might be.
Yes, take my word, I got the best of it. One good look will tell the rest of it.
I'll keep pitching, 'cause I'll be hitching to my Laura Belle Lee.
Phil, suppose Frankie doesn't like the car when he finds out it's for him and not for me.
Honey, he's got to like it. He can't complain because he's picking it out himself. That's where my scheme is infallible. Infallible! Oh, Philip, watch that pretty mouth of yours. Them $9 words are pouring out promiscuously. Whoop, there I go again.
What kind of a car he picks. He has such awful taste. I
Well,
can't
he's going to...
imagine.
Uh-oh, that must be him now. Hold it. Come in.
Well, I got you an automobile, and it's a beauty. Come on outside. I'll show it to you. Well, you see it, Alice. And I got a good deal on it, too.
Remley, did you spend the whole $300?
Well, not quite. I have a little change left over.
How much change?
$275.
You paid $25 for a car. What kind
Don't
of...
knock it till you see it. Well, Alice, here's your car. Ain't she a knockout?
Frankie.
Notice how low-slung she is.
Frankie.
You'll be proud to drive a sleek, streamlined job like this.
Frankie.
What?
That's the pile of cans Phil put out this morning.
You sure? Could have sworn I parked it here. Oh, there it is, over there.
Where?
The big pile. The one leaning up against the garbage can. The one with the celery sticking up with the garbage can. The program was transcribed for earlier broadcast.
How could you buy a wreck like that?
What's the matter? Don't you like it?
Guess it's all right, but isn't it kind of tired looking? Why is it lying down?
It's relaxing. When you get as old as that car, you'll sneak a short nap every chance you get to.
It's not an old car. May not be brand new, but it's built better than the cars of today. It's got fine material in it. Just look at the isinglass in that windshield. It comes with a lot of extras. Goggles, duster, and a spare set of candles for the headlights.
You got a radio?
Radio. It's got something better than that. It has a console with a three-way combination. Crystal set, gramophone, and stereopticon slide. And these records come with the gramophone.
Record?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let me see them records.
Yeah, here you are.
Nice set of cylinders. Good tunes, too. Oh, Susanna, Camptown Races. Here's a cute one. I'll be down to get you in a taxi, honey, because I don't think this will make it. Good tune.
Your feeble attempt at humor is quite pathetic. Alice, aren't you happy with this car?
Would you be happy with it?
Would I? I've dreamed of having a car like this all my life. Would that I could afford it.
You couldst.
What?
Remley, I got news for you. This is your car. I bought it for you, not Alice.
For me? You mean this beautiful car I picked out for Alice is the junk heap you bought for me?
There she lays, Rob, and she's all yours.
I ought to punch you right in the nose.
Well, it's your own fault, Frankie. Bill gave you $300 to buy a car, but you had to chisel and buy one for $25. You made your bed, now you'll have to sleep in it.
I don't feel bad enough she's got to come up with a corny expression like that. I ain't going to keep this scrap pile.
Well, that's all you're going to get. Now, if you don't like it, sell it to somebody else at a profit and buy yourself a better one.
Who can I get to buy this heap?
I know a guy.
Now he's stealing my character. How low can a man get? Alice, I don't know how you live with this man. Are you in love with him?
Of course I am.
Ah, you're just saying that. Come, girls, you can confide in me. What do you really think of him?
Well, if you must know, I'll tell you.
I like the lead to my song much better, and I work alone.
I'm as corny as Kansas in August. I'm as normal as blueberry pie. No more a smart little girl with no heart. I have found me a wonderful guy. I am in a conventional dither with a conventional star in my eye. And you will note there's a lump in my throat when I speak of that wonderful guy. I'm as bright and as gay as the daisy in May, a cliche coming true. I'm bromidic and bright as the moon, happy night pouring light on the dew.
She's as corny as Kansas in August, high as the flag on the 4th of July.
If you'll excuse an expression I use, I'm in love, I'm in love, I'm in love, I'm in love, I'm in love with a wonderful guy.
She's as bright and as gay as the daisy in May, a crochet coming through. She's romantic and bright as the moon, happy night pouring light on the dew.
I'm as corny as Kansas in August, high as the flag on the 4th of July. If you'll excuse an expression I use, I'm in love, I'm in love, I'm in love, I'm in love, I'm in love with a wonderful guy.
All I did was ask her what she thought of him. She could have said I liked him, but no, she had to make a production out of it, going to a 2-minute song.
Hey, look, Frankie, forget about that. Now, look, I've been thinking it over. Now, if you don't like the car, you don't have to keep it. Take it back to the guy you bought it from and get the money.
I can't do that. The guy's no longer alive.
What are you talking about? You just bought the car from him an hour ago.
I know. When I told him I'd take it, he dropped dead. Well, anyway, he collapsed. Fell down.
You know, Remley, come to think of it, now just quiet down a minute. This car doesn't look too bad.
Well, maybe it doesn't.
Well, if it has a good motor, you can have the body fixed up, and it'll be okay.
Hiya, fellas, Hey, what's that dead moose doing in the street?
Julius, this ain't no dead moose. My new automobile.
This is an automobile? Where did you get this monstrosity?
It's not a monstrosity. This automobile happens to be a family heirloom. My grandfather handed it down to my father.
Well, old Butterfingers must have dropped it.
Although it's an heirloom and very dear to me, I'm going to sell this automobile.
Are you kidding? Who'd buy this monstrosity?
Stop calling it a monstrosity.
I will if you stop calling it an automobile.
Look, kid, even though this heirloom's worth a lot of money, I'm forced to sell it at a sacrifice. And since you're the dearest friend I got, I want you to have it. It's worth $3,000, but if you make me a reasonable offer, it's yours.
You mean you're willing to sell me this valuable family heirloom? It's worth $3,000 and you're willing to let me have it at a sacrifice?
That's right. What's your top offer?
$1.35.
You're offering me $1.35 for this beautiful car?
I started too high, huh?
look, kid. This is a good buy. It's got a wonderful engine.
Do tell. What does it run on, steam or batteries?
Now, don't be a wise guy. It's a modern engine. It's economical to run. It don't use much fuel.
How much mileage can I get?
Well, the last guy who had it got as much as 50 miles to 1 cord of wood.
It burns wood?
You can use charcoal if you want.
Just think you'll be the only kid at school with a charcoal broiled Essex.
You don't happen to have a barbecue Buick, do you?
Look, son, this is a great buy. Come on, we'll take you for a ride. Julius, you start the motor.
Okay, where's the crank?
You don't need a crank for this car.
Of course not. It's a cinch to start this motor. You see that slot, Julius, in the side of the hood?
Yeah, what about it?
Here's the key. Wind it up.
What are you trying to do, kill my sale? No, this car has a self-starter. I'll show you. Something seems to be wrong with the motor.
Choke it.
Sounds like it's being strangled now. I know where you got this. Jack Benny's Maxwell had pups.
You keep quiet, kid. I'll try it again. Hey, she started. Why is the motor coughing?
Maybe it's got an allergy. Now put it in gear and let's get going.
Okay. Fighting me. Fighting me. It won't go. Hey, Curly, it's moving. What happened?
I must have kicked one of the galley slaves. Come on, Julius, quick, get in. Ain't you coming with us?
No, thanks. One of us got to stay alive for the inquest.
Hey, Remley, we're picking up speed. Hey, it's all downhill. Hey, you better brake it a little. Watch where you're driving.
If you don't like the way I'm driving, you take the wheel.
Frankie, put that wheel back on the shaft. Hey, we're heading for that store window. Stop the car. Look out. Duck, Remley, duck.
These brakes realigned. Curly, speak to me. Say something. Curly, are you all right?
Oh, yeah, I always ride with my head between my knees like that. Remley, look at that mess you've made out of that store window. You've broken everything. Here comes the owner.
Well, do you gentlemen wish to be waited on?
No, thank you. We're just browsing.
What's the idea of smashing in here like this? What happened?
Well, we were window shopping and we overdid it.
You'll pay for this. I'll sue you for every penny you've got. I'll take you.
Now, wait a minute, mister. I don't want any trouble. It's not our fault. I'll pay for any damage we've done. Now, how much do I owe you?
$1,500, and you're not leaving here till I get the money.
But I haven't got $1,500 on me. Where am I going to get it?
Don't worry, Curly. I'll get it. I feel partly responsible for this accident. I know a guy who'll let me have $1,500. Loan me your car so I can drive over and get it.
All right, here are the keys, but hurry, Remley. Will you hurry?
$1,300, $1,400, $1,500. There you are, mister.
Okay. Now you can go, Harris.
Oh, Frankie, you're a lifesaver. I don't know what I would have done if you didn't get that $1,500.
That's all right, Curly. You know me. I'll do anything for a pal.
What a day. What a day. Now, come on. Let's get in my car and go home. Where'd you park it?
What's on that lot on the corner of 5th and Main?
Well, let's go on over there and get... Hey, wait a minute. That's a used car lot.
Of course. Where do you think I got the $1,500?
Oh.
and Phil will be back in just a moment. But right now, our Rexall family druggist has a customer.
What's the name of that Rexall antacid you sold me a little while back?
You must mean Bismarex, ma'am.
Bismarex, that's it. I don't think I've ever found faster relief for acid indigestion.
That's because Bismarex works like a team in a relay race.
Like a relay race? What on earth do you mean?
Well, the carefully balanced ingredients in Bismarex vary in the time required for solubility, so that each one works in sequence, like a four-man relay race.
I get it. One ingredient starts in where the other leaves off.
That's it. The first man or ingredient promptly relieves the heartburn that comes from food fermentation in the stomach. The next one races to neutralize hyperacidity. The third one eases gastric distress. And the finish man leaves a soothing protective covering for irritated stomach membranes.
No wonder Bismarex gives such fast relief.
Well, ma'am, that kind of quality applies to all of Rexall's 2,000 or more drug products. And that's why 10,000 family druggists will tell you can depend on any drug product that bears the name Rexall.
Good health to all from Rexall.
You know, Phil, you were lucky to get your car back from that used car lot.
I certainly wasn't, Remley. You ain't going to borrow it no more. You got your own car now. Anytime you want it, just go down to the grocery and take it out of the window.
I already got it out. I gave it to my aunt as a present.
Your aunt don't drive. What's she going to do with it?
She's having it wired. She's going to make a lamp out of it.
This program is produced and directed by Paul Phillips. Included in today's cast were Ruth Davis and Herb Vigor. The part of Frankie Remley was played by Elliot Lewis, and Julius was played by Walter Tetley. Alice Faye appeared through the courtesy of 20th Century Fox.
Any special tips for drugstore shoppers this week?
You bet, ma'am. A good one. Rexall ammoniated tooth powder. Many dental authorities believe that the use of ammoniated tooth powder means a decided lessening in tooth decay. And now, Rexall brings it to you at the unbelievably low price of only 39 cents for a 3-ounce bottle.
Why, that's less than I pay for ordinary tooth powder.
And what's more, ma'am, Rexall ammoniated tooth powder is licensed by the University of Illinois Foundation and backed by the same uncompromising standards that apply to all of Rexall's 2,000 or more drug products. Ask for it wherever you see the orange and blue Rexall sign on the window. There's a family druggist inside who will tell you can depend on any drug product that bears the name Rexall.
Stay tuned for the adventures of Sam Spade, which follows immediately on NBC.
One of the greatest names in radio comedy was, of course, Fred Allen. The famous Benny Allen feud went on for years, though Fred and I were close friends. Fred had a sharp wit and a sense of satire that has never been surpassed. We exchanged many visits on radio, Fred to my show and I to his. His ability to ad-lib was phenomenal. And one night, after a particularly hilarious Fred Allen ad-lib, I returned this line, which has been quoted time and time again. You wouldn't have said that if my writers were here. Fred's famous Allen's Alley is as fresh today as it was then.
The Senator's home. I'll knock and see what happens.
Somebody, I say, somebody knock.
Yes, I know.
Claghorn's the name, Senator Claghorn.
I know you're from the South.
When I'm in New York, I'll never go to the Yankee Stadium.
Now, wait a minute.
I won't even go to see the Giants unless the Southpaw's pitching.
Well, look.
I refuse to watch the Dodgers unless Dixie Walker's playing.
Now, wait a minute.
Stop interrupting. Where's your manners?
Manners, I have no...
Try listening. You might learn something.
Listen, all I'll ever learn...
Your tongue's wagging like a blind dog's tail in a meat market.
You're winded, hey?
Just sucking in some air, son.
Well, leave a little. I'm breathing, too, you know. Tell me, Senator, what is Washington doing about coal prevention?
The Senate reconvened just in time.
Yeah?
I was glad to see Senator Aiken back. Aiken back, that's a joke, son.
I know it's a joke.
That was a scrawny sight,
and you don't know what it is
I keep
yourself.
tossing them, and you just sidestep them.
Well, look at me. Now, wait.
Say, you're a regular sad sack. Sack, that is.
Now, you wait a second. Tell me, cool off. Now, just a second. Do you have a favorite cure for a cold?
I caught a cold last week.
Yeah?
Like to ruin my filibuster.
Ruin your filibuster. What did you do?
I took an old Southern remedy, son. I drank down 2 buckets of hot mint julep.
You drank 2 buckets of hot mint juleps, and you still held the floor?
Held the floor, son. I couldn't get up off it.
Well, I wonder how Titus Moody is doing this evening.
Howdy, Bob.
Say, Mr. Moody, you look a little tired.
I know. I was up all night. Couldn't get a wink.
You didn't sleep a wink?
No, it wasn't that. Somebody stole my tiddly.
Well, Mr. Moody, tell me, has this cold epidemic hit your farm?
My wife had a nasty cold.
Did you call the doctor?
Yeah. All down quack, give her sulfur and molasses. Put in too much sulfur.
Well, how can you tell he gave her too much sulfur?
When my wife sits in the dark, she glows.
Well, are you doing anything about it?
Why, Senator Claghorn, a foreigner next door, he sent me over a bucket of hot mint julep.
For your wife?
No, for me. Tonight I'm getting lit up to keep her company. Come on,
Look as though Titus is going to get lit up on his weekend. Well, let's see what a knock here will start.
No.
Ah, Mrs. Nussbaum.
You're expecting maybe Lula Bankhead.
Tell me, Mrs. N, have you had any colds in your house?
Mine husband Pierre is sick.
Oh, really?
They are maybe sending him to a clinic. The Meyer brothers.
Oh, the Meyer brothers. Well, didn't Pierre try any cold remedies?
Every day is a new remedy. First he is bringing home fruit to drinking fruit juices.
What kind?
Oranges, grapefruits, tambourine.
Well, how long did he drink the fruit juices?
1 day. Then Pierre is opening up the window and throwing out the fruit.
Oh, he had another remedy?
Vitamins from vegetables.
Oh, good.
He's bringing home carrots, stringler beans, and rutabagas.
How long did he try vitamins?
1 day.
1 day again.
Pierre is opening up the window and throwing out the vegetables.
He had yet another remedy?
Absolute rest. You're staying in bed.
Uh-huh.
I am bringing meals. I'm bringing pills. I'm bringing hot water bottles.
Well, how long did this last?
1 day.
And then?
I am opening up the window and throwing out Pierre.
Who was it that said, well, you've got to take the bitter with the batter? Sure, you remember.
And the first day I met Jane, she was Jane Sherwood then. The first day I met her, she showed me newspaper clippings of all the plays she had been in at school. She read me how the school paper critic had praised her performance in Hamlet.
Jane Sherwood as the ghost was ghastly.
She read me a rave notice on her performance in Macbeth.
3 girls played the witches, and they were quite gruesome.
And there were many other similar triumphs through her 4 years in high school.
And there were many other similar triumphs through my 5 years in high school.
But she gave it all up to marry me and become just a plain little old housewife. But do you think she regrets it? Yes, she does now and then. Even after 15 years of marriage, she started regretting it again the other evening after dinner.
Dear, do you think I know Anthony Marshall well enough to go next door and ask him to give me a part in his play he just finished writing and he's starting rehearsal tomorrow, it says here in the paper?
No.
I knew it. I knew you were going to say no. You're always throwing damp water on everything I want to do in the theater.
Look, Damp, this is a professional play Mr. Marshall's putting on. You're only an amateur.
Well, I'll turn pro. I don't mind getting paid for it.
You don't.
We can certainly use the money.
Oh, now, just a minute. We live very comfortably in our modest way.
Well, it's time we started living immodestly.
Hey, please. Is that why you want to become an actress?
Oh, when I read about these plays going into rehearsal, it does something to me. I get the smell of the old goose grease. I want to get behind the footnotes. I want to see my name up in tights.
Look, Runway.
Oh, what? Did I ever tell you the story about...
Oh, no, you're not going to tell me that Mona Frisbee story again.
Mona Frisbee and I both won a school contest to go to Hollywood.
I know.
I married you.
I know you did.
But she went to Hollywood, and after 2 years of hanging around the studios, she married a cameraman and then got divorced. And now he's a waitress in a drive-in restaurant near San Francisco, and she's doing very well with tips.
I know that story, Jane. So what?
So what? So why couldn't I?
So bring me a hamburger, plenty of relish, and no mustard.
No, I mean, so a neighbor of ours writes a play, and you say don't ask him for a part in it?
Well...
Do you know that every actress in town will give her right name to be in his play?
Jane, you're not an actress.
Smile when you say that, dear.
Jane, you're not an actress.
You, of all people, to say a thing like that to me, of all people. To think that I would rue the day to hear you say it. To me, dear. Me, the one who's desecrated her life to you.
Oh, fine.
All my life, I worked my head to the bone to do things to please you.
Oh, now, Jane, I didn't mean to hurt your feelings.
I always take up for you. If somebody says you're sarcastic, I say he is not.
Oh, now, wait a minute. I'm sorry I even
Why even tell people you're handsome?
Oh, isn't this?
Well, what do you say to me? No, you can't do this. You can't do that. Stay home, you say. You're giving me an inferior complex.
Oh, please, Jane, will you stop crying?
I can't stand it anymore. I'm through. I'm through. Do you hear me? I'm through.
Oh, Jane, don't carry on like that.
No.
Now, look, if you really want to try out for it, go and see him about the play. Is that all right now, Jane? Will you stop crying?
So I'm not an actress, huh?
What?
Not much I can't.
What?
Well, see you later, dear. I'm going over to see Tony about his play.
Yes, Jane and Goodman Ace. Goodman selected that excerpt for us as one he particularly treasures. Radio contributed many words and phrases to our vocabulary. When you said a person was a real Baron Munchausen, you had Jack Pearl and his famous character in mind.
Well, Baron, I'm delighted to see you.
Well, Charlie, of all the people in the whole world.
I haven't seen you in a long time. Where you been?
I just come back from the other side.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I just come back.
How'd you get over here?
I came over on a ship.
How was the food aboard the ship, Baron?
Food was just so-so.
Oh, just so-so.
You know something, Charlie? With every meal I had to eat soup.
With every meal you had to eat
I
soup?
had to eat soup.
Was it compulsory?
You see, I was... Hello?
I say, was it compulsory?
No. Tomatoes.
Oh, tomatoes.
No, we didn't have compulsory.
Oh, say, by the way, just a moment. Did you know that Jimmy Durante has been looking all over this theater for you with a gun?
What do you mean? He's looking for me with a revolver?
What?
I think he's looking for me with a revolver.
With a revolver, yes.
Why he's looking for me? Why?
Well, he said that you called him a dirty name.
I called him a dirty name?
He said that you swore at him.
Oh, what a liar!
Wait. Now, don't get excited. You'll get high blood pressure.
No, not me. I'm anemic.
Oh,
no.
Sure.
Listen, Charlie, I give you my solemn word. I never called him a dirty name, and I never swore.
Well, then how did it happen?
Here's how that comes out, just like it was.
All right.
What day is this today?
Today?
Yeah.
Today is Sunday.
Sunday. That was 4 days back. That was Wednesdays. You see, I'm going out with my...
Wait a minute. What day did you say?
Wednesdays.
No.
I was going...
You mean Wednesday?
Yeah, in the center of the week, like, you know.
Wednesday, named after the god Woden.
No. Wednesdays is named after Tuesday. Charlie, you see, Wednesdays I was going in the country with my car.
I see.
Well, as I'm driving...
Wait a minute. Tell me, what time of the day was this?
Oh, this was maybe 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock?
9 o'clock.
9 o'clock a.m. or p.m.?
So I'm going... What?
I said, was it 9 o'clock a.m. or p.m.?
So I'm going out with my...
Why don't you answer my question? Was it 9 o'clock a.m. or p.m.?
No. That's not nice.
What's not nice?
Now, I don't like that. Now, you hear that? Now,
What are you talking about?
Now, I know what that is. Now, don't say that.
You do. All right. Wait a minute.
Now, I don't like...
You know what it is?
Yeah.
Well, what is it?
About the farmer's daughter. I don't like...
Jack Pearl contributed Vajudere Charlie to our language. Jimmy Durante added, I got 1 million of them. While Joe Penner offered, you nasty man, don't ever do that. And want to buy a duck? I guess we all used Molly's famous, "Tain't funny, McGee."
What are you reading, dearie?
Wimple's bird book. He left it here last night. And you never read such a miss of mass information in your life. It's awful.
Well, if it's that bad, why do you read it?
It's so garbled, it fascinates me. This book has got more wrong answers than a nervous housewife on Take It or Leave It. Look at the title, even. American Birds and Their Habits. They can't even spell habits, you see?
Where?
There.
Oh, that word isn't habits, dearie. It's habitats.
Oh. Well, what I want to know is what their habits are. Who cares where they have their habits at? Any bird lover who reads this would throw eggs at the publisher.
Say, when did you become such a bird lover?
Ever since the first time I had quail with wild rice.
What particular statement in that book are you quarreling with?
Well, listen to what it says about the feeding habitats of the pelican.
All right.
It says the pelican feeds occasionally on other things besides fish, but it definitely prefers marine life. Now, that is ridiculous.
Why is it?
There ain't a pelican living that could get in the Marines. Why? They even turned me down twice.
Dearie, that isn't what that means.
Huh?
Besides, I think you're being too critical. After all, you're not much of an expert on bird life.
Who ain't?
You ain't.
Huh?
I mean, you aren't.
The heck I aren't. Who was it worked his way through high school raising baby chicks and even invented a slot machine that would dispense them 2 for a quarter? And who was it that a chewing gum took his idea and beat him to the patent office?
What chewing gum?
Chiclets. That's why I say these people that write these...
Come in.
Oh, it's Wallace Wimple. Hi, Wimp.
Hello, Mr. Wimple.
Hello, folks.
We were just reading your bird book, Mr. Wimple. Hope you don't mind.
Oh, not at all, Mrs. McGee. I'm glad to know where I left it. I'm afraid I was rather upset when I left here last night.
Yeah, we noticed that, Wimp.
Why? Did I do something?
Well, we had the radio turned on to a political rally.
Oh, I remember now. A deep voice snarled, Wallace is going to get the beating of his life. And I went right out the window. Silly me.
Say, how are you getting along these days with her, Wimp?
You mean Sweetie Face? My big old wife?
Yes.
Oh, about as usual. We had a little tiff yesterday, and believe me, Sweetie Face puts up a tough tiff.
What was it about, Wimp?
Oh, it was nothing, really.
No?
She came back from downtown with a new hairdo and asked me how I liked it.
And?
And I told her. Frankly, Sweetie Face, I said, it looks like an explosion in an Excelsior factory. I said, or a crew haircut with mutiny on the poop deck. I don't blame them for dyeing your hair, I said, but they waited too long to embalm it.
Oh, no.
Mm-hmm. And then out loud I said, it looks simply beautiful, dear.
My gosh, how could she object to that?
Oh, she knows me so well. She ignored the compliments on my lips and tried to slap the expression off my face. When I ducked, she... Oh, speaking of ducks, did you enjoy reading my bird book?
Yeah.
No.
What?
Confidentially, Wimp, this book is fuller of tripe than the inside of a cow.
Oh, I beg your pardon, Mr. McGee. This is the finest bird book there is. This is the authority on birds. It tells about the dodo bird disappearing, the migratory habits of the snow goose,
Yeah.
how the passenger pigeon became extinct.
Wait a minute. What was that again?
You mean about the passenger pigeon?
Yeah, that.
Well, it says on page 49, and I quote, The passenger pigeon, which once swarmed over the North American continent by the millions, has become completely extinct. The last known passenger pigeon died in the Cincinnati Zoo in 1914.
Exactly. That's just what I mean. That is a falsehood.
What do you mean, McGee?
I mean, I saw a passenger pigeon today. I've seen one every day for weeks.
Oh, my goodness, Mr. McGee, if what you say is true...
And it is.
If you actually saw a real live passenger pigeon, why, any zoo in the country would pay thousands for one.
You mean thousands of money?
Thousands of dollars for one pigeon, Mr. Wimple? Are you sure it was a passenger pigeon, McGee?
Why, sure I'm sure it was a passenger pigeon. Hey, if they're worth that kind of dough, I could trap that thing and sell it for... Oh, my gosh. Where's my hammer? Where's my tools? I got to make a trap. Where's my screwdriver?
I don't know, Mr. McGee. I'm just a guest here.
Oh, I know. I left it right here in the hall closet.
No, don't open that door, McGee.
Abner, will you come over here and help me put this sign on the door?
Why, sure, Lom.
Just hold this nail in place while I whack it with a hammer.
For quiet, homespun humor with a country flavor, I think you have to turn to Lum and Abner as the foremost example. In fact, I can't think of anything on television today that has captured this particular kind of format. The comedy was comfortable and funny.
Lom, suppose you hold a nail in place while I whack it with a hammer.
You think I'm crazy?
The trouble here is we're suffering from an oversupply of whackers.
Have you ever seen me hit anybody on the thumb with a hammer?
Yes. Last summer when Opie Cates helped you put up the screens.
That was just a little tap.
Tap? You smacked that thumb so flat it looked like he's carrying around a pancake flipper.
Why, he didn't even holler.
He let out such a beller, all the fellers at the sawmill knocked off for lunch.
Stop exaggerating and hold that nail. Granny.
Lom, you couldn't hit that nail no matter if your whole life depended on it.
Oh, now be quiet.
This is my page-flipping finger here, Lom. Be careful.
Hold the nail in place. Okay, here goes. There. Now, how was that?
Not bad. Just aim it 2 more feet to the left, and I think you'll have it.
Yes, the trouble is the top of the nail is too small.
You couldn't drive that nail if I stuck it in between my teeth and let you hit me on the back of the head.
Don't give me any ideas. Now, just hold it in place. This time I'll keep my eyes open.
Good. Think one of us ought to know what's going on.
You ready now?
Yeah.
Here it goes.
Oh, you idiot. Why don't you watch what you're doing?
Abner Peabody, I didn't even touch that hand.
I know you didn't. You got the one I had in my pocket.
One of the most nostalgic names in the American theater came to radio and leaped to success with the devilish character she created. Her career has been portrayed on Broadway in the smash musical Funny Girl. Who else but Fanny Brice as Baby Snooks?
I was just trying to help you, Dad.
Why must you torment me this way? Why can't you just leave me alone when I feel like playing the piano?
'Cause I want to play, too.
You don't know how to play.
I can learn.
Oh. Do you really mean that, Snooks?
Yes, Dad.
Because nothing would please me more. And if I teach you to play, will you practice faithfully every day?
Mm-hmm.
All right, now. Sit here beside me. Who knows? You may turn out to be a child prodigy.
Who knows?
Now, before I give you the first lesson, suppose we try to find out just how much natural ability you have.
How?
Well, see if you can pick out a tune. Whatever music comes into your head.
All right.
All right.
Stop.
We can forget the prodigy business right now.
Shall I play some more, Daddy?
No. Pay a little attention, sir. There are 7 major musical notes in the scale.
Where's the scale?
Right here. Now listen. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. See this note? That's A.
A what?
A nothing. A is just its name. Now what comes after A?
B.
And what comes after E?
F.
Good. What comes after G?
Wig.
No.
I was only fooling Daddy.
All right. What comes after G?
H.
No. After G, you start all over again with A. Now. A. What note is this?
H.
No! Didn't you hear me singing it? It's
Well,
A.
Well, it sounded like A.
When the Longines Symphonette Society first suggested that we create this treasury of golden moments from radio, Mary Livingston and I spent many evenings reliving some of our own radio broadcasts. We came across this one I thought you might like.
All right, Mary, read me your mother's letter.
Okay. My darling daughter Mary, just a note to let you know that we are all well. Although I must say that this being election year, your father and I have been having our usual political arguments. As you know, I'm a Republican and he's a Democrat. I wear a button that says I like Ike, and your father's been wearing a coonskin cap. He thought it was a coonskin till this morning when it had kittens.
No kidding.
Well, Mary, at last I have some good news for you. We're finally getting rid of your Aunt Emily.
Well, it's about time. She's been living with your family as long as I can remember.
For the past 2 years, your Aunt Emily's been going with the local undertaker. And next Sunday, they're getting married. I'm glad when they get a home of their own. I'm tired of them coming in here every night with those second-hand flowers.
Yeah.
Right now, she's wearing a ribbon in her hair that says, "Rest in peace."
Your mother.
But even though he's an undertaker, he's very progressive, and he's the only one in town with a convertible hearse.
A convertible hearse? No.
No other news.
Hey, your mother's a humdinger today.
No other news, so we'll close with love, Mama. P.S. Just as I was getting ready to seal this envelope, the postman came with your check for Mother's Day. Mary, this was very thoughtful of you. But how you could send me that much money on the salary Jack pays you, I'll never know.
Mary, how much did you send her?
$4.
Can you remember the day you bought your first automobile? I can remember driving mine home, for I had my friend Mel Blanc with me. Mel and I still work together, and I still have the Maxwell. Isn't that amazing? Mel Blanc, the man of 1,000 voice characterizations. And speaking of characters, there's still another graduate of radio around today. And I do mean around every Army, Navy, and Air Force base in the world. The old ski-nose himself, Bob Hope.
Thank you, fellas. No whistling. We'll have the place loaded with dogs. Thank you very much. Thank you. Well, here we are at the Pasadena Army Service Forces Regional Hospital. That's an ambulatory phrase meaning don't step out the back door, Joe. It's a 100-foot drop to the sewer. Yes, sir. I've done a couple of shows in hospitals recently. I feel so much safer when there's a doctor close by. And this is a wonderful spot for a hospital. When a battle fatigue case comes in, and they can't calm him down and make him sleepy the usual way, they just give him a pass to go into Pasadena. Pasadena. That's the town where the curfew goes on at 12 noon. I tell you, it's a great place to live. Pasadena is a very quiet town. In fact, every time a soldier takes a walk, the Chamber of Commerce appoints a man to follow behind him and oil his GI shoes. Somebody ought to oil my tongue for a while. And Pasadena is really a ritzy town. They're so fussy here, the mayor meets the Greyhound buses at the city limits with a can of flea powder. So ritzy, I put a nickel in the Pasadena jukebox to play one meatball, and it came out one caviar croquette. I saw one beautiful rich debutante here this afternoon, though. Boy, she was really loaded. She had money, too. But these soldiers aren't impressed with the local register here in Pasadena. When they go out with a girl, they don't care about who's who. They want to know it's what. This hospital used to be a hotel called the Vista del Arroyo. That's a Spanish term meaning, why, Sergeant, the young lady was just admiring my cast, and we got so engrossed we must have strolled into Hollywood without knowing it.
Back around 1948, television was beginning to gain in stature. The stars were still the property of radio, but it was obvious a change was in the wind. Fred Allen was already making plans. And he revealed those plans on his show one evening when a gatecrasher joined him for a sequence that requires all of your imagination.
Benny was born ignorant, and he's been losing ground ever since. Benny was doing a monologue with a pig on the stage. The pig was there to eat up the stuff the audience threw at Benny. Why, some weeks he used 2 pigs. Benny is the only guy in New York who has to bounce his nickels for the manager before they'll let him in the automat. Who would be low enough to sneak into a tour to save 60 cents?
There's the guy. Hey, you!
Who, me?
Jack, how can you be so cheap?
All right, go ahead. Be like the other radio comedians. Tell some cheap joke. I won't even eat in the sun. My shadow might ask me for a bite.
Your shadow has teeth? Jack, don't get excited. Look, if you're cheap, you're cheap.
That's the way I look at it.
Look, Jack, if there ever was a time that you and I should not argue, this is the time.
What do you mean this is the time?
Well, haven't you heard? A lot of the radio programs that have been on for many years have been canceled. By the way, you finished tonight, didn't you?
Yes, sirree. Tonight was my last show of the season.
Did your sponsor mention anything about your program coming back in October?
Well, no, Fred, but we have a mutual understanding. You see, we always sort of take it for granted.
Oh.
The season ends, the sponsor shakes hands with me, and then we... Yipe!
Jack, what's wrong?
Tonight he didn't shake hands.
Cheer up, Jack. When you're retired, you can tune in on my new show.
New show?
People don't want entertainment today. A radio show has to give away things. Nylons, iceboxes, automobiles.
You mean to stay on the air, you have to give things away?
Yeah.
I'll die first.
Well, not me. I'm auditioning my new program tonight.
And Fred, you're giving things away?
Tons of stuff.
Well, Fred, as long as I'm here in the studio...
Well, I'm sorry, Jack. Professional people cannot participate. It's a rule.
But don't you ever find people on these programs changing their names to get something for nothing?
Well, occasionally we do catch a phony, but we're on the air. What can we do?
Mr. Allen, we're ready for your audition.
I'll run along, Fred. So long.
So long, Jack.
Giving away things for nothing.
Well, all right, let's try out my new show.
Here he is, the man who will change one of you nobodies into king for a day, the old kingmaker himself, Fred Allen.
Thank you. And here is our first eager contestant. Your name, sir?
Myron Proudfoot.
Myron Proudfoot?
You look like a chap I know.
I'm not interested in your friends. Start giving things away, brother.
What is your occupation, Mr. Proudfoot?
I'm a chaplain in a bakery.
What does a chaplain do in a bakery?
I put wings on angel cake.
How long have you been in the cake business, Mr. Proudfoot?
Long enough to know a crumb when I see one. And I see one.
Now, don't get sarcastic, Mr. Proudleg.
The name is Proudfoot, and make with the question.
All right. Who is the 6th President of the United States?
John Quincy Adams.
John Quincy Adams is correct. And Mr. Myron Proudfoot is king for a day. Well, Your Majesty, how do you feel?
Never mind how I feel. What do I get?
Immediately after this program, Your Majesty will be guest of honor at a banquet at Hamburger Heaven. Tomorrow morning, through the courtesy of the Sanitation Department, you will be guest conductor on the 11.5 garbage run through the Bronx. At night, in your ermine robe, you will be whisked by bicycle to Orange, New Jersey, where you will be the judge in a chicken cleaning contest. I'm king for a day. And that's not all.
There's more?
Yes, we are going to start right now to make you look like a king. Your suit is a little baggy, King. Boys, take His Majesty's coat off.
Wait.
On our stage, we have a Hoffman pressing machine.
Now, wait a minute.
An expert operating the Hoffman pressing machine will press your trousers.
Now, wait a minute.
Keep your shirt on, King.
You bet I'll keep my shirt on.
We're a little late, folks.
Now, come on, Alan, give me my pants.
Quiet, King.
Alan, listen to play. Stop. Where are my pants?
Danny, for 15 years I've been waiting to catch you like
Alan,
this.
you haven't seen the end of me.
It won't be long now.
I want my pants.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dennis Day.
That makes life seem worthwhile dwells in your eyes and the spell of your smile.
Dennis Day is brought to you by Palmolive Soap and Colgate Dental Cream. Palmolive Soap, your beauty hope, and Colgate Dental Cream to clean your breath while you clean your teeth. The Dennis Day Show with Barbara Eiler, Bea Benaderet, Dink Trout, George Dooning in the orchestra, and yours truly, Vern Smith, is written by Frank Galen and stars our popular young singer in A Day in the Life of Dennis Day. Here's Dennis to sing You Were Only Fooling.
You were only fooling, but I was falling in love. It's a story as old as Adam and Eve. I was making love, but you were making believe. You lied to me with kisses. I tried to stop dreaming on, but you were only fooling me while I was falling in love. You lied to me with kisses. I tried to stop dreaming on, but you were only fooling me while I was falling in love.
And now, here is a very important announcement. Palmolive Soap is giving away prizes worth $67,000. A grand prize of $25,000 in one lump sum, or $100 a month for life.
And that's not all. There are over 2,000 prizes in Palmolive's big treasure chest contest.
Ford sedan,
Westinghouse laundromat,
From Silver Fox scarves,
Toastmaster toasters.
And it's easy to enter. Complete the last line of this jingle.
A fresher, brighter-looking skin is something I would like to win. I'll get Palmolive soap today. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Write your last line on a plain sheet of paper or use an official entry blank giving complete rules obtainable at your dealers. Include your own and dealer's name and address, and mail with the big word Palmolive from the front of the wrapper of one regular and one bath-size cake of Palmolive soap to Box 92, New York 8, New York.
Now, here's the jingle once more.
A fresher, brighter-looking skin is something I would like to win. I'll get Palmolive soap today. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Mail your entry to Palmolive, Box 92, New York 8, New York. But hurry, your last chance. Contest closes next Saturday.
Get Palmolive soap for a lovelier complexion. Remember, doctors prove Palmolive's beauty results.
In this great land of ours, there are three glorious American traditions shared by nearly every family, which have truly transformed America into the land of hope. They are freedom of speech, the right to vote, and the rich relative. Now, to our friend Mrs. Anderson, the last of these has always seemed the most important, since in the Anderson household, the right to vote is exercised but once a year, and freedom of speech is limited strictly to Mrs. Anderson. So we can understand her excitement this morning as she bursts in on her spouse, clutching a letter in her hand.
Herbert!
What's up, passion flower?
Look, this letter. Remember my dear, rich, sweet, darling, loaded Aunt Prunella with the $2 million? Guess what?
She passed away?
No, she's feeling fine.
Oh, my deepest sympathies.
Herbert, is that anything to say? You know I'm glad Aunt Punella's well. I hope she lives to be 90.
How old is she now? 89?
No. Now listen. She writes she's going to be out this way. I haven't seen her in 25 years, and she's never met you. You're going to wire her to come and live with us for as long as she likes.
Live with us? But, Poopsie, you don't even like the woman. I've heard you say yourself that she's an old drip.
Yes, but let's not forget what she's dripping with. And this is our big chance to get into that will, but good.
But, Poopsie, there isn't even any place for her to sleep, unless you move Dennis out of his room and give her that.
Are you crazy? I wouldn't give Dennis's room to a dog. She's going to sleep in your room, and you're going to sleep in Dennis's room.
Our young hero, of course, is at this point blissfully unaware of his impending dispossession. We find him in his room looking at a newspaper as Mildred enters.
Oh, hi, Mildred.
Hi, Dennis. Going through the help wanted ads again?
Oh, no. This is just a copy of my old high school paper. I saved it because my picture was on the front page.
Oh, really? Let's see. Gosh, you look very handsome.
Oh, sure. Cameras don't lie.
But all it says under the picture is, this is Dennis Day of the freshman class.
Uh-huh.
Oh, gee, the fact that you were in the freshman class doesn't sound like front page news.
It is when you've been in it for 5 years.
Oh. And is your picture in all these other papers, too?
Oh, no. I saved them because my sports articles are in them. I used to be a sports reporter for the paper.
Honestly?
Sure. I was really good, too. Listen to this. At 2 this afternoon, Hooperstown High and Jackson High clashed in the most vicious contest these old eyes have ever seen. It was man against man, heart versus heart, in a grim, bitter struggle which saw each player push himself beyond the limits of human endurance, regardless of consequences. I wrote that.
Why, Dennis, that's wonderful.
Well, it was a pretty exciting checker game.
Oh. Well, my goodness, Dennis, if you can write like that, why don't you try and get a job on the Weaverville Bugle?
You mean with a real newspaper?
Well, why not? Someday you might even have a column of your own. Give me one good reason why you couldn't be a Fulton Lewis Jr.
Because his mother saw Fulton Lewis Sr. first. Oh, it's silly, Mildred. Do you think a newspaper would really hire me?
All you confidence in yourself. Go into that editor's office and tell him you're the greatest newspaper man in the world. The star reporter of all time.
By golly, maybe you're right. I've seen enough newspaper men in the movies. I'll act just like one. I'll take a couple of sips of cleaning fluid, stagger in, and hiccup right in his face.
And you say you'd like a job with my paper, young man.
That's right, pal. Scoop Day is the name. Greatest reporter who ever lived. If it's stories you want, I'll dig them up for you.
I see. So you're a leg man, eh?
Pardon?
I said, so you're a leg man.
Oh, no, sir. Even if I was, it wouldn't do me much good with the new look.
You did say that, didn't you?
Say what?
Let it go. I couldn't possibly have heard right. Well, tell me about your experience, Mr. Day. Have you ever been on a daily sheet?
Oh, no. We change ours only once a week.
You know something, Mr. Day? You're beginning to fascinate me.
Really?
Yes. Now, a good reporter should be well up on the world situation today. What have you to say on the subject of, say, Russia?
Russia?
Yes. Tell me about Russia.
It gets very cold there.
Just the stuff our readers want. Anything else on Russia?
Well, just that it's good there is a Russia because there are so many Russians that if there weren't a Russia, where would they all go?
They don't call you Scoops for nothing, do they? Now, what do you know about Japan?
Well, Japan is different from Russia.
Isn't it, though?
Yeah, it's much warmer and has fewer Russians.
How few people have ever noticed that. You're a sharp one, Scoop.
Oh, I just keep my eyes and ears open.
Yes, but I still get the feeling there must be a leak somewhere. Oh, forget it. This is fun. I was going to ask you a question about the Berlin situation, but I know just what you'd say. That he's written better songs than anyone else in the business.
Well, he has, hasn't he?
He has indeed. And now, suppose we turn to politics for a while, huh?
Well, I really don't know much about politics as I do about the foreign stuff.
Oh, come now. No modesty, Sue.
No, really. Why don't you try me on sports?
Oh, please, Mr. Day. I'm conducting this interview, and I feel you'd be much funnier on politics. Now, tell me, what do you think President Truman's chances are of being reelected this November?
Oh, go on. You know very well he's been reelected already.
Why, Scoops, you shocked me. You knew that, huh?
Certainly. And I know who lost, too. Dewey.
This is very disappointing.
And I know why. It's just as well he did lose.
Huh? But maybe this is something. Why?
Because now he can go back and finish capturing Manila.
I knew it. You've rollied.
When do I start work, huh? When?
Mr. Day, I'm afraid I have a shock for you. You've given me the most enjoyable afternoon of my life, but I just can't see my way clear to putting you on the staff.
Oh, my gosh.
I'm sorry. Goodbye, Mr. Day. It's been awfully frightening to have met you.
Wait, please. There must be something I can do on the paper, some assignment I can...
Excuse me just a second. I'll be right back. Yes, sir?
You the editor here? I got a complaint. My name is Homer Applegate, and I sent in a letter to the Lovelorn column 2 weeks ago, and I ain't had no answer.
Oh, yes. Well, you see, our advice to the Lovelorn editor left us a few weeks ago to go to Reno for a divorce. And, we haven't been able to replace her yet.
But I got a problem. I wrote in saying my initials are H.A., and I want to know what to do about my wife. How much longer do I have to go on living like a dog?
Oh, now, I'm sure you're exaggerating, Mr. Applegate.
Oh, I am, Humble. Take a look at this sandwich she made for my lunch.
My goodness, a spoonful of strong heart between two puppy biscuits.
Yeah, I want an answer to that letter. You understand?
Well, we'll do our best, Mr. Applegate, but you see, we haven't been able to find anyone with the weird type of mind necessary to... Wait a minute. It's warmer and has fewer rushes. And, Mr. Applegate, your answer will be in the paper tomorrow.
You mean I won't have to live this kind of a life no more?
It's a promise, and here's my paw on it. And now excuse me, please.
Yeah, oh, okay, pal.
Oh, you're still here.
Yes, sir.
Good. My boy, I've interviewed you on foreign affairs and politics. Now I want to speak to you of love.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm already engaged.
No, but I think I have a job for you. How would you like to be head of your own department on my editorial staff?
Boy, oh boy, with my own office?
You bet. And on the door, it'll say in gilt letters, private, Miss Abigail Allen.
Do you think I'm built right for a sign like that?
Of course. You're going to be our advice to the Lovelorn editor.
Oh, my gosh. Stay right here. I'll be back in a minute with a copy of what every young boy should know.
We'll continue this day in the life of Dennis Day in a moment or two. Meanwhile, here's Dennis to sing his RCA Victor recording of I'd Love to Live in Loveland.
I'd love to live in Loveland with a girl like you, and every day a holiday with skies of baby blue, where roses bloom forever and sweethearts are always true. I'd love to live in Loveland with a girl like you, where roses bloom forever and sweethearts are always true. I'd love to live in Loveland with a girl like you.
Well, our young hero is now Miss Abigail Allen, in charge of the Lovelorn column on Weaverville's leading daily. But let's leave him for a moment and return to the Anderson house, from which a Western Union boy is now running madly away after delivering a telegram to Mrs. Anderson.
You hear, Herbert? Aunt Prunella coming to see us. You hear, Herbert? Yippee! Woohoo!
Popsy, please calm yourself. Don't get so head up.
Who's head up?
After all, kissing the Western Union boy that way.
I can't help it. She's my favorite aunt and just loaded with my favorite stuff. The wire didn't say when she'd arrive, though, did it?
No, just soon. That could...
Well, come on. We've got to get busy moving you into Dennis's room and Dennis into the cellar.
All right, Cockle Shell.
Incidentally, where's he been keeping himself? I've seen very little of him lately.
Oh, I don't know. He has some mysterious job he won't tell anyone about. Just hints that he's making money by using his head.
Really? Wonder if he made a deal for it with some medical school.
Gee, it was nice of you to ask me over to your office, Dennis. I think it's just beautiful.
Oh, thanks, Mildred.
Oh, I'm so proud of you. How do you like being Abigail Allen?
Well, it's kind of confusing sometimes. I never know which room to use when I want to wash my hands.
Oh, silly.
But I may not have that problem much longer. The boss said he didn't like my first column yesterday and it would have to improve. That's really why I asked you to come over here.
Oh? Well, maybe I can help. Read me what you wrote yesterday that the boss didn't like.
Okay. Here's the first letter I got. Dear Miss Abigail, a few years ago I met a man who told me he was all alone in the world, and I said so was I, so we got married. Then when he moved in, he presented me with 7 kids by a previous marriage. It's not that I mind him lying, but we have very little room on account of the 6 kids I had. Now, my problem is his 7 kids and my 6 kids are always beating up our 4 kids. What'll I do? Sign Lonely.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, what did you tell her?
Oh, I'll read it to you. Dear Lonely, I suggest you have 5 more children immediately. According to my adding machine, you now have 17 kids. 5 more will give you 22, or enough for 2 football teams, which will keep the kids occupied. This will leave you and your husband free to raise another team to play the winner.
That's what you wrote?
Seems like pretty solid advice, doesn't it?
Read another one.
Okay, listen. Dear Miss Abigail, my initials are H.A., and my wife is leading me a dog's life. For 24 years, she has browbeat me something terrible. I want to be a man and have some respect around the house. Please advise me. Signed, Bewildered.
Oh, I hope... Dennis, wait a minute. What were those initials again?
H.A.
And he says he's been married 24 years?
Yeah.
Dennis, you don't think that... I mean, could that letter possibly be from Daddy?
Your father?
Well, his initials are H.A., and he's been married 24 years.
Yeah, but this letter says his wife browbeats him, and his... Well, he says he wants to be a man, and your father's a... Gee, now I know how they can hang a man on circumstantial evidence.
Dennis, it's got to be Daddy. How did you answer it?
Oh, I'll read it. Dear Bewildered, your wife's love has obviously cooled, and you must rekindle the flame by making her jealous. Hire some other woman to come into your home, on a strictly business basis, of course. And when your wife sees a strange woman sitting across the breakfast table from her every morning, she might get the idea that you have an outside interest.
Oh. Well, thank heaven you advised something so ridiculous. He'll never do anything like that.
You don't think so? I'm worried.
Well, don't be. He knows if he ever did such a thing, it wouldn't only make Mother jealous. She'd break up their home.
Yeah, all over him.
That's funny. Nobody home. I wonder where the folks went, Dennis.
Gee, I don't know. Notice how clean the place looks, though? You don't suppose your father's expecting company, do you?
I told you not to worry about that silly advice you gave. Come on, let's go out in the kitchen and fix some hot chocolate.
Okay, I'll have some rye crisp with mine.
Oh, you answer it, Dennis. I'll be in the kitchen.
Okay. Yes?
Oh, hello. I'm Prunella Wilkins. Of course, you couldn't possibly be Herbert Anderson at your age.
Oh, no, ma'am. I won't even be him at his age. I'm Dennis Day. I live here.
Oh, well, I'm sure we'll get along fine when I move in.
When you're moving in?
Why, certainly. Herbert Anderson wired and asked me to live here.
Holy smoke, so he is a dope.
I beg your pardon?
Excuse me a minute. I'll be right back. Have a seat. Mildred, my advice. She's out there. The woman. Your father sent for her. Oh, I tell you, there's no fool like an old fool when he listens to a young fool.
Dennis, are you serious?
She's here, Mildred, ready to take up residence with 2 suitcases. Probably full of seductive black lace red flannels to wear to breakfast.
Dennis, we've got to get rid of her before Mother gets back. It's our only chance. Tell her something, anything, to get her out of here.
Okay, I'll try. Sorry to have kept you waiting, ma'am.
Oh, that's all right. Well, I'm rather tired. Do you happen to know where I'll be staying here?
No, it's kind of hard to tell. The last one he invited is under the rose bush. There's 2 under the garage floor, and a couple of them he just ran through the mixmaster.
What? What did you say?
Oh, didn't you know about Mr. Anderson's hobby?
Why, no. What hobby?
Oh, he's sort of an amateur butcher. Not the kind that cuts up steers or chickens. He kind of specializes.
Specializes?
Yeah, only people. May I take your coat, please?
Young man, are you crazy? Do you know what you're saying?
Don't believe me, huh? Didn't you notice the front lawn as you came in?
What about it?
You don't think grass ever got that green from Bigelow, do you? May I take your coat?
No, you must be mad. Why, Clara wouldn't... She couldn't marry a man who...
Who do you think helps him with his work?
Clara Anderson?
Better known in undertaking circles as Crocum Good Clara, the Cleaver Kid.
No.
Yep, she cuts him and he grades him.
Now I know you're crazy. And if you think I'd stay in this house another instant with a madman...
Well, sorry to see you go, lady, but if that's the way you...
Dennis, why have you got all the lights burnt? Aunt Prudy!
Huh?
Darling, you're here.
Don't you come near me, Clara Anderson. Now that I see you in a strong light, this boy could be telling the truth. What?
Why, Aunt Prunella, you...
You keep away from me, too, you croaker, you.
Me? I'm in the furniture business.
I won't stay in this house one single second. I might have known you'd turn out this way, Clara Anderson.
And Prunella,
As a child, you used to pour ink into the goldfish bowl so the poor things couldn't see where they were swimming.
But I was the one...
I'm getting out of here before I wind up a pot roast. Goodbye.
You know, Mrs. Anderson, it's possible I made some sort of a slight mistake.
You. I might have known. What did you do? Come on, tell me, what did you do?
Gosh, I didn't know she was your aunt, Mrs. Anderson. I just wanted to save your marriage because I'm Abigail Allen, and I saw the letter Mr. Anderson wrote, and I thought
Wait a second. Did you say the letter I wrote?
Sure. Aren't you bewildered?
That's putting it mildly. I don't know whether I'm talking about.
Well, I know what this one is doing. He's going.
Now, wait, Mrs. Anderson. We can call her back and straighten the whole thing out. I told her there were bodies under the front lawn. Tomorrow she can dig up the lawn for herself, and naturally she won't find any bodies there.
Oh, she won't, huh?
All right, so one puny little body.
Colgate Dental Cream cleans your breath while it cleans your teeth.
No other toothpaste cleans teeth better than Colgate Dental Cream. Colgate's safe polishing agent cleans teeth gently and thoroughly, brings out natural sparkle and beauty.
And scientific tests prove that Colgate Dental Cream cleans your breath while it cleans your teeth. Yes, scientific tests prove conclusively that in 7 out of 10 cases, Colgate instantly stops unpleasing breath that originates in the mouth.
Colgate Dental Cream is famous for flavor, too. Nationwide tests of leading toothpastes prove that Colgate's is preferred for flavor over every other brand tested.
And no wonder. For Colgate Dental Cream is the result of constant effort to produce the finest toothpaste in the world today. For cleaning teeth, for flavor, for sweetening breath.
See if you don't agree with the millions who have made Colgate Dental Cream America's favorite toothpaste. Always use Colgate Dental Cream after you eat and before every date to clean your breath while you clean your teeth.
Extra, extra big, extra value, extra economy. Now you can buy Colgate Dental Cream in the new big economy size. Saves you money over any other leading toothpaste. Get the new economy size Colgate Dental Cream at your dealers, only 59 cents. With George Dooning in the orchestra, here's Dennis to sing the lovely ballad, Until.
There are no stars to shine. There's no such thing as time. I love the view until there are no songs to sing. There's no such thing as spring. I love but you. You were sent from heaven just for me. And you are oh so heavenly until there is no moon above. There's no such thing as love. I love but you. You were sent from heaven just for me. And you are oh so heavenly until there is no moon above. There's no such thing
Next week, tune into another Dennis Day Show brought to you by Palmolive Soap, your beauty hope, and Colgate Dental Cream to clean your breath while you clean your teeth.
Tonight, show him how much lovelier your hair can look after a Luster Cream shampoo. Only Luster Cream brings you Kate Dumit's magic blend. Glamorizes your hair as you wash it. Yes, tonight, you can be a dream girl, beautiful Luster Cream girl. You owe your crowning glory to a Luster Cream shampoo.
Listen again next week to Colgate's Hour of Fun, Judy Canova, followed by Dennis Day. And for another great comedy program, hear Blondie next Wednesday evening over your favorite NBC station. This is Vern Smith speaking. Good night.
This is NBC, the National Broadcasting Company.
Schlitz, the beer that's made Milwaukee famous, presents The Halls of Ivy, starring Mr. and Mrs. Ronald Colman.
Good evening. This is Ronald Colman.
And Benita Coleman.
Inviting you to join us again on the campus of Ivy College as the guests of our sponsors, the brewers of Schlitz Beer.
The taste of Schlitz, the taste so many people prefer, has made Schlitz Beer first in sales in the USA. If you like good beer, do as millions of people are doing all over the nation. Ask for Schlitz, the most popular beer in history. And now, the Halls of Ivy.
That surround us here today, and we will not forget though we be far away.
Welcome again to Ivy. Ivy College, that is, in the town of Ivy, USA. Autumn is the season beloved of poets, football coaches, painters, wholesalers of woolen goods, and at least one college president. Dr. William Todhunter Hall of Ivy takes a moment from his multifarious duties to stand at the window of his living room with his wife, Victoria.
I've never seen the trees so brilliant here, Toddy. Does it mean anything?
Now, darling, what do you mean, does it mean anything? I suppose it indicates that the arboreal supply of chlorophyll must have diminished with a little more celerity than usual.
There we go again. Silly question, silly answer. But, really, though, I mean, does it mean anything? Like thicker shells on peanuts or longer hair on weasels? Well, you know, tough winter, all that.
My darling, the three choicest words in the English language as spoken by you are, I love you. And the three most distasteful as spoken by me are, I don't know, but in this case, I don't.
I thought you lived with the Indians once. Didn't you learn anything?
In the first place, my sweet, I didn't live with the Indians. I merely wanted to. Because at the time I was an enthusiastic anthropologist.
Well, if you wanted to, why didn't you? You always said people ought to do, say, be, and think whatever they wanted to, within the limits of decency and the law.
Yes, I know, but I didn't seem to have the knack of living on cornmeal and fried jackrabbit with a drink of water every 2 weeks. I sometimes wonder, with the world headed for possible catastrophe, whether we shouldn't inaugurate a course in personal post-atomic survival.
You mean like how to remove spots from your leopard skin?
Yes, exactly. How to distinguish the edible wild carrot from the inedible deadly nightshade. How to snare a wolf.
Well, don't need a course in that. That's too elementary for an Ivy girl. Yeah, I overheard an example of it today.
Oh, where?
On the front steps of the library, a boy said to a girl, Hey, Tom Face, didn't I meet you someplace this summer?
And what did she say?
Well, she said, it's possible. I spent the summer under a flat rock.
I suppose he slunk away, humiliated and crestfallen.
Oh, my darling, I doubt if there is an insult deadly enough to wither a college boy. But anyhow, I saw the two of them 20 minutes later in the malt shop, very cozy, over a soup-pack.
I beg your pardon, over a what?
A soup-pack. It's 2 spoons in a big dish of 4 kinds of ice cream, 6 kinds of flavoring, cherries, marshmallow, and salted nuts, $1.10.
Well, the 10 cents, I suppose, is to call an ambulance. But why is this fantastic confection called a soup-pack?
It's an abbreviation for suicide pact.
Victoria, my beloved, without you to infiltrate the campus and report these tribal customs to the would-be anthropologist... oh, good heavens, look who's coming up the walk. In a high dudgeon with the top down, Mr. Wellman.
Ooh, doesn't he look healthy? I don't think it's very modish of him to wear a purple face with a brown suit. What happened to his chlorophyll?
He should be the first to lose it, spending so much time out on a limb as he does.
Let's both let him in and keep him standing in the hall. Morning, Mr. Wellman.
Morning, Mr. Wellman.
Morning is right. We should all be wearing it.
Wearing what, Mr. Wellman?
Morning, Mrs. Hall. Morning.
Morning, Mr. Wellman.
Morning, Mr. Wellman.
Morning, Doctor. Please. This is no occasion for jocularity. I said we should all be wearing mourning, and that's exactly what I meant. Dignity on this campus is dead. Dead, Dr. Hall, dead.
Take off your hat, Victoria.
Mr. Wellman, if I didn't know you were the kind of man who always understates a situation, I'd say you were over-dramatizing this one.
Flattery has never swerved me from my goal, Mrs. Hall.
Well, in this particular case, Mr. Wellman, what is your goal?
My goal is the elimination of the anthropology department, or at least an admonishment to a re-evaluation of the... Well, anyway, something must be done about it.
Well, it's one of Dr. Hall's favorite departments, Mr. Wellman.
I know that, and it only emphasizes the disgraceful activities, the importance of it. It has bitten the hand that feeds it, and
Mr. Wellman...
What is it?
Let's pass the generalities and get to specifics. What is the indictment?
You know a student named Thomas Finley?
Well, the one who wrote the article about Ivy College?
That's the one, a vicious, underhanded, prejudiced...
No, just a moment, please. I read the Finley article, and I enjoyed it immensely. The boy's a sharp critic.
Is that all you can say about it when he has so foully attacked the alumni, the football management, the professors, the fraternity system, and you? You, Dr. Hall, didn't you read what he said about you?
Well, that's the part he enjoyed the most.
I thought it demonstrated a rare discernment and a definite kind of courage to say that the president of Ivy was too prone to consider the students as individuals and their problems as his own. The president, according to Finley's view, should be more aloof, more inaccessible. His pronouncements should be Olympian, and his activities clothed in mystery, thus enhancing his authority. I disagreed with it completely.
Well, something must be done about it, Dr. Hall. Something drastic. No class assignment in anthropology could excuse such an attack on this institution. At the very least, he must retract the article and make no apology.
No.
No?
That's what the man said, no.
Mr. Wellman, please listen.
I'm listening, but I warn you, I disagree with what you're going to say.
Oh, probably. And a prime example of pre-censorship at its lowest level. Now, while I certainly do not agree with many of his conclusions, I can only applaud his effort and the courage of the Ivy Bull in printing it.
Well, I must say, Dr. Hall, your attitude is the most... this is anarchy, Dr. Hall, anarchy. It is treason to attack this...
Mr. Wellman.
Yes, Mrs. Hall.
I'm sure the Ivy Bulletin would be happy to print your side of the question, if your remarks would be printable, I mean.
You mean for the chairman of the board of governors of this college to bandy words with a young... to so forget my dignity as to argue in print with... No. 1,000 times no. On the contrary, I shall demand a retraction. I shall demand his dismissal on the grounds of insubordination and ask the board to see that you, Dr. Hall, are reprimanded for encouraging this undergraduate insurrection. Good day.
A tempest and a pinhead, if I ever heard one. Can he do anything?
Oh, I doubt it. But with the Wellmans of this world, one never knows. He's a vigilante at heart, if any. And he's always eager to form a lynching party.
Yeah, how about freedom of speech and freedom of the press? They're sort of involved here, too, aren't they?
Oh, definitely. In which connection I agree completely with the late Sinclair Lewis.
What did he say?
He said that everything that is worthwhile in the world has been accomplished by the free, inquiring, critical spirit. And that the preservation of this spirit is more important than any social system whatsoever. That the men of ritual and the men of barbarism are capable of shutting up the men of science and of silencing them forever. Yes, Mr. Lewis well knew the function of free expression. Vicky, do you know what happens when a safety valve is tied down over a full head of steam?
Boom!
Yes, dear. Boom. Serious criticism must be met with calm scrutiny and reasonable defense. So, I shall invite Finley to have dinner with us. Hand me the phone, will you, darling, so I can ask him?
You didn't ask me if I was prepared to have a gift.
I never do, and you always are. I must say it gives me a splendid sense of domestic security.
Well, having enough to eat in the house always gives me one, too.
Hello? Will you please locate a student named Thomas Finley for me? Yes, this is Dr. Hall. No, Finley. Finley. F as in fearless, I as in independent, N as in noteworthy, L as in liberty, E as in enterprising, and Y as in,
Yankees, 4-3.
Yankees. Yes, Finley. That's right, yes, thank you.
Now, that's a very happy little smile you're wearing, Doctor. You really enjoy these little fracas, don't you?
Yes, I'm afraid I do. What was that word you used?
Fracas, plural of fracas.
Is it legitimate?
Probably not, but you've always said not to be a slave to the dictionary. Usage makes the word, you say. And that phrase justifies itself, you always say. An orthodox vigor of expression is preferred. The proper noun is, you say. You always...
Yes, that's enough, yes. I am convicted by my own eloquence.
Well, I'd just like to have you know I treasure everything you say.
Well... And I didn't know that when you were hanging on my every word that you'd use them to hang me with later. Otherwise, I would have been more careful that at Dr. Hall's residence... Oh, yes, Finley. Yes, I did. Can you join Mrs. Hall and me for dinner here tonight? Yes, I thought we could discuss the article in the Bull. And a possible bull in the article.
You know, sometimes when a man goes into a barber shop, especially Doc Fish's barber shop on the Ivy campus, he may get more than just a shave. For example, the other day I noticed Doc's chair was empty, so I... Well, howdy, Doc. How about a shave?
Sit right down, Mr. Carpenter. You're lucky I'm free. And I'm lucky because I wanted to talk to you.
Huh?
You know, I never realized quite what you were getting at when you talk about the uniform taste of Schlitz beer. And then, it hit me the other day, it's just like the barbering business. Well, sir, a man picks his barber for reasons of his own. You know what I mean?
Why, yeah.
And every time he goes to get his haircut, he expects the same kind of a job. Well, sir, what would a customer think if every time I cut his hair, I cut it a bit different?
Well,
he'd go find himself another barber. Now, with beer, folks look for one they like for reasons of their own. And they expect the same taste every time they pour a glassful. How about a hot towel?
Oh, fine.
Schlitz beer, I found out, has the same dandy taste bottle after bottle, year after year. And because of that, the folks who ask for it regular are never disappointed. A fellow that likes good beer is bound to try Schlitz sometime. Right?
Oh, certainly.
Can't hear you. Wait till I take the towel off. There. What'd you say?
Why, I said right. Schlitz is first in sales in the USA because of its fine taste and because of the bottle-after-bottle uniformity of that taste. People just naturally get the finest when they get into the habit of saying, Schlitz, the beer that made Milwaukee famous. Right, Doc?
Right.
As we return to the halls of Ivy, we find the Halls and their guest, Thomas Finley, having after-dinner coffee in the living room. Mr. Finley is the student anthropologist who wrote a rather devastating article on Ivy College and stirred up a campus whirlwind. As he so well says,
I noticed a little late, Doctor, that the anthropologists who write about Tibet don't do it till they get home. I should have gathered my facts about Ivy College and then gone to Tibet and written them there.
It's a very sound procedure, in retrospect. As it is, our own High Lama demands your expulsion, excommunication, and, if possible, your immediate execution.
Will the condemned man care for another cup of coffee?
Oh, yes, thank you, Mrs. Hall. It was nice of you and Dr. Hall asked me over. I seem to have lost quite a few friends in the past 72 hours.
But don't forget you have added at least 2 admirers.
Really? That's kind of surprising.
Well, how so?
Well, that you didn't take the monograph personally. I mean, as a personal attack.
But it wasn't an attack. It was a critical evaluation of university life. I found it quite instructive.
Well, you seem to be the only one who thinks so. And I guess you should complain most since it's your college.
No. Yours just as much as mine. Besides, if I'd taken every bit of criticism personally...
It would have been another Mr. Wellman. And there are entirely too many Mr. Wellmans in the world already. One.
Well, what did you expect your monograph to accomplish, Thomas?
Well, to arouse a little self-examination. Get some discussion going.
You implied that the average Ivy student is more interested in getting a diploma than in getting an education.
They look at a diploma like it's a deed to a piece of land or a gilt-edged bond that they can clip coupons from the rest of their lives. And because they're more interested in the prize they get than what they learn, all the shortcuts are used, all the easy courses. Their college motto is get in, get by, and get out.
But Mr. Wellman implies that you've shaken the very foundations of all things near and dear to him. He is suffering grievously from contusions on his complacency.
Well, he'll recover. He's what the students call an easy bruise but a quick heal.
You issued quite a challenge, Thomas, when you said the average Ivy student doesn't know why he or she is going to college.
Well, I believe it, Dr. Hall. They don't. Some go because their brother or uncle did, or because their fathers wanted them to, or because it's socially important to go. But always to please somebody else, to be liked, because if you're liked, you get by in the world.
Why are you going to college, Thomas?
Well, to know why so many of us are angry and selfish, I guess. To find out, if I can, why we're all fighting so hard to be exactly like everyone else. Or the other way around, to make everyone be like us.
Well, Thomas, as opposed to Clarence Wellman, I'm always delighted to meet with a spirit of doubt and inquiry.
The world would get a lot farther with doubting Thomases than with carping Clarences.
You wouldn't be interested in retracting anything you wrote in your monograph, would you?
Impossible, Dr. Hall.
It's only a rhetorical question and merely for the record. Now, we'd better make some battle plans.
Who wanted me to withdraw my paper?
Now, Thomas, of all the people at this university, who stands on the advance outposts of learning and shouts in loud, clear tones, make way for yesterday?
Mr. Wellman.
The one, the only, and we hope the last.
Yes, but I've never met the man.
In a word, don't. Oh, a fine man, mind you, in his way.
But almost everything seems to be in his way.
Mr. Wellman is chairman of the Board of Governors.
Well, now, really, Thomas, after the consideration Dr. Hall has shown you this evening, that was a very cruel thing to remind him of.
Well, I'm of the firm opinion that Mr. Wellman will lose interest in this issue because the most important yearly event in his life has just begun.
Oh, don't tell me he's going to retire from the board. Bless his little heart, his very little heart.
No, it's not that. No, it's something that has a deeper and more profound influence on the limited but energetic life of Clarence Wellman. The football season.
Of course. The Ivy backfield will block you out of his mind, Thomas. My football to Mr. Wellman is...
Ah, maybe you'll have a chance to talk to him after all, Finley.
I better make some more coffee with a dash of soothing syrup.
Hello, Doctor. Am I being inopportune?
Ah, Mr. Merriweather. No, indeed, delighted to see you. Come in.
I just happened to be passing this way on purpose and wanted to pay my respects to Mrs. Hall while I was wearing my best necktie.
Victoria, here's the lower left-hand corner of our potential triangle. Your admirer, Mr. Merriweather.
Oh, Mr. Merriweather, it's so nice to see you. Now, come on in and sit down.
Ma'am, you're a sight for weary bifocals. Several times this summer I started to write you a love letter and sneak it into your mailbox, but I couldn't spell frustrated and my wife wouldn't help me. Hall, how could you be so selfish as to take this woman out of circulation for 8 weeks when you know that I... Oh, I beg your pardon. You have a guest.
Yes, I think you two revolutionary spirits should meet. Mr. Merriweather, this is Thomas Finley, an anthropology major.
How do you do, sir? I'm glad to know you, Finley. Any friend at the Halls is... Finley? You the fellow who wrote the article in the Ivy Bull and held this sacred institution up to mockery and scorn, to quote a certain member of the board?
Yeah. He's the culprit, Mr. Merriweather. Do you want him to blush?
For what? For yanking the tails out of a lot of stuffed shirts?
Oh. Well, now I'm blushing.
No, I didn't mean you, Bill. If your shirt bulges, it's only because you're so big-hearted. Finley, shake hands.
Well, thank you, Mr. Merriweather. You mean you don't think I'm a dangerous saboteur?
Son, I think you're a very healthy influence. Mind you, I don't agree with everything you popped off about, but you certainly stirred up a mare's nest. And being a fairly stable character myself, I've always been against mares having nests.
A statement of principle which I shall remember and cherish.
And probably quote.
Oh, now,
yeah. Well, anyway, it's nice we have one member of the board who doesn't think this young man should be boiled in printer's ink.
If the football coach catches him, he'll be fried in rubbing alcohol.
Well, I don't remember being particularly unkind to the coach. Overemphasis on football, yes, and commercialism in sports.
You mean you haven't heard about our star quarterback, Nitro Needham?
Well, I haven't. Has Nitro exploded, too?
Well, we'd better have some more coffee, Thomas. And you, Mr. Merriweather?
Ma'am, just talking to you is stimulating enough without adding caffeine. And while I hate to be the bearer of ill tidings, it seems that Mr. Nitro Needham has gone into a huddle with himself and refuses to play any more football till he decides why he is going to college.
Oh, my goodness, and he was headed right for the All-American.
Ah, Finley, you've really started something. Perhaps you didn't realize that self-examinations are the hardest ones to pass. You'll meet a football player wonder where his real goal was.
Well, it's very gratifying, but I hope I haven't overdone it, considering I'm here on a scholarship. Maybe if I hadn't stirred up such
rucky?
Such what?
Rucky, plural of ruckus.
Never heard such a word.
Usage makes the word, Mr. Merriweather. An apt phrase justifies itself. Unorthodox figure of expression is preferred.
Thank you, Victoria.
No, I'm glad to help anytime.
Mr. Merriweather, have you discussed this thing with Mr. Wellman?
It might better be said that I listened to a 20-minute howl of anguish from Clarence. Among his more quotable remarks were that in the person of Finley, we have been nourishing a viper in our bosom. Made me stop twice on the way over here to get a little snake bite remedy. He also said that between him and the Alumni Association, they'd find a way to cancel Finley's scholarship.
And I'll find a way to see they don't find a way.
Clarence also suggested in a well-modulated scream that if Finley wanted to criticize Ivy, let him go to Harvard or Princeton. If he could get past our blacklisting.
Blacklisting? What a horrible...
Excuse me, ma'am. Let me finish this while I can remember the more temperate aspects of the harangue. Clarence said that if Finn didn't get Needham back on the football field, he'd turn the anthropology department into a gymnasium. And that hereafter he'd keep a sharp eye out for any ungrateful student who would sink so low as to kick his mater in the face. Alma, that is. I'm sorry I can't give you a more verbatim summary, but there's a lady present.
Well, I think the summary was quite adequate. And quite a wintry summary, too.
Yes, I could feel the chilly blast. Look, Dr. Hall, Mr. Merriweather, if it would save either of you any discomfort or embarrassment for me to resign.
Finley.
Sir?
Listen, in your article, you indicated the belief that a college president should remain more inaccessible and render more Olympian judgment.
Well, yes, sir, but I...
Well, it's my present Olympian judgment, subject, of course, to reversal, that for a college president to encourage a retreat from honest criticism would be to abdicate in favor of reaction and timidity.
I wish I'd said that.
This college, Finley, this college, like all good colleges, is dedicated to the principle of knowledge through inquiry. If we encouraged none but popular opinions, no course but the safe one, no approach but the orthodox, no appraisal without praise, we would be false to our concept of an educational institution. I take pride in having among us a student who has the courage, the initiative, and the insight to point out a line of self-examination and reevaluation which can only be a healthy influence on...
I'll take care of this point killer. Dr. Hall's residence. Oh, hello, Mr. Wellman.
Tell him we're talking to the Viper.
I will say, Mr. Wellman stays with us.
For me, Victoria?
Yes. But something's gone wrong. He's being sweet.
Must be a bad connection.
Yes, Mr. Wellman. You say that Nitro Needham's father was... Well, yes, but we... Well, yes, Well, thank you. Yes, I'd be delighted on the first tee at 9 o'clock. Good night.
You're playing golf with that leatherhead?
What happened to the Tempest? The tycoon with the typhoon?
Yes, and what about Needham's father, Mr. Hall, if it's any of my business?
Oh, it's definitely your business, Finley. It appears that Nitro talked it over with his father, who was so pleased to know that his son would take time out from football to think, that he is sending Mr. Wellman a generous check toward the new stadium. He thinks that a college which feels secure enough to withstand a little criticism must be quite an institution. In addition to this, World Topics magazine is reprinting your article in full with a 6-page spread on Ivy College under the title, A College Examines Itself and Gets an A for Integrity. A for Integrity? That must be wrong. So, Finley, you've been acquitted. Go and sin no more.
Oh, brother. You needn't have worried, son. You'd have got a hung jury if I had to supply the rope myself.
Oh, well, that settles that.
Well, darling, everything's wonderful. What are you so gloomy about?
Well, it's Mr. Wellman's fault as usual. It's rather disconcerting to don one's armor, mount the charger, raise the bugle to sound the charge, and find oneself drowned out by the enemy's rendition of I Love You Truly.
This Mr. Wellman must be an interesting character. I'd like to know more about him, in an anthropological way, of course.
No publisher would handle it. You'd have to write the whole thing in asterisks.
Yes, Finley. When writing about our Mr. Wellman, take a hint from Stoddard King's verse. A writer owned an asterisk and kept it in his den, where he wrote tales which had large sails of frail and erring men. And always when he reached the point where carping censors lurk, he called upon the asterisk to do his dirty work. Is there more coffee, Victoria?
The
House of Ivy, starring Mr. and Mrs. Ronald Coleman, has been presented by Schlitz, the beer that made Milwaukee famous. The taste of Schlitz, the taste so many people prefer, has made Schlitz beer first in sales in the USA. Why don't you, too, enjoy the most popular beer in history? Next time, every time, ask for Schlitz beer. Now, here again are Mr. and Mrs. Ronald Coleman.
I've been asked to remind you of the urgent need for blood by our armed forces. The love of fair play and justice is in the blood of every American. And it is only fair and just to give our fighting men some of yours, to fight for you.
Just contact your local Red Cross unit, and do make a point of remembering.
And so good night from our sponsor, the Joseph Schlitz Brewing Company of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and its thousands of friendly dealers throughout the nation.
Good night.
Singers, kiddies.
The makers of Bluebonnet Margarine and Tenderleaf Tea present the Fred Allen Show. With Fred's guests, Mary Livingston's husband, Portland Hopper, Minerva Pius as Mrs. Nussbaugh, Alan Reed as Falstaff Openshaw, Parker Fenley as Titus Moody, the DeMarco sisters, and Al Goodman and his orchestra. And until I start tooting the claghorn, my name is Kenny Delmar. Ladies and gentlemen, Shakespeare said, to be or not to be. Benjamin Franklin said, remember, time is money. But for the last 8 months, all I've said is, here he is again, Fred Allen.
Thank you and good evening. Thank you and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. And Kenny, I happen to overhear your opening remarks. Lad, if you are unhappy in your work...
Well, how can I be happy, Fred? Every Sunday, what do? I have one line. Here he is again.
Kenny, the man who invented the telephone only had one line when he started.
Yeah, but Fred, I'm not getting any place in radio. It's the same on my other show.
Oh, you're on another...
The Lucky Strike program.
Oh, the Lucky Strike program. What do you do on that?
You know when the man says LSMFT?
Yeah.
Then the tobacco auctioneer says, Yachta, sold American.
Uh-huh.
Then a voice says, you bet.
You bet.
Another voice says, yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
The voice that says, yes, sir, is mine.
You're beaten down on that show, too, huh? Kenny, why don't you give up that other job and just work on our show?
You mean you'll pay me the extra money?
No, Kenny, but I tell you what I shall do. I'll let you add the line you have on the Lucky Strike program to the line you have on our show. Put them together now and see how they sound.
Here he is again. Yes, sir.
How is that?
Well, that's more like it, Fred. Now I've got something to do.
As long as you're happy, Kenny.
Mr. Allen.
Well, Portland. Portland, pull up an old rejoinder and sit down. What's new?
Mama says President Truman has taken over all the coal mines.
Does your mother need coal?
Yes. Mama's calling up the White House tomorrow and ordering 2 tons.
Oh, that's fine. Do away with the middleman. Go right to the top. Well, if she needs any wood, the president can sit down at the piano and give her a couple of chords, I imagine. Not good. A man crept in here and did something to the script tonight. I won't mention his name.
Mama says the world today is a bowling alley.
The world is a bowling alley?
Every time you turn around, there's a strike.
Well, I'm glad that anything you don't understand, applaud. It's perfectly all right. That's what they do in Hollywood. People come in, just applaud and get warm and go home. And I'm glad the trains are running again, Portland.
Yes, if the railroad strike lasted one more week, the Atchison, Topeka, and Santa Fe would have been off the hit parade.
Oh, that would have been terrible. Well, I think I'll run along, Portland. I have to get my magnifying glass and worm a crab apple.
Mama says Friday is your birthday.
That's right.
How old are you?
Nobody knows, Portland. I was born before the Decca Company started, so there weren't any records in those days.
Mama says
Now, don't you laugh. Don't you laugh. You're going want to establish a precedent in here. I want to know about it.
Mama says last year when the candles on your birthday cake melted down,
Yeah?
there was enough grease to wax the floor at Roseland.
Oh, I'm not that old, Portland.
Mama says if you were a piece of furniture, you'd be an antique.
Yeah. If I was an antique in radio, I'd be Duncan's other fight. Well, that's life, I guess, Portland.
Mama says life is like the Australian fig bird.
The Australian fig bird?
It lives on the seeds in figs.
But there aren't any figs in Australia.
The Australian fig bird dies at birth.
And the Australian fig bird has nothing on our jokes. I think we'd better get along to Allen's Alley, Portland.
What is your question tonight?
Well, recently, a Mr. Ralph Slater, a specialist in mental suggestion, made a phonograph record that he guarantees will put any insomniac to sleep. And so our question is, do you have any trouble sleeping? And if you do, what are you doing about it?
Shall we go?
As the dollar did said when the glutton sat down, I'll be gone in a minute. It's so good to get back to Allen's Alley, Portland. It's as quiet as an eel coiling in a bucket of whipped cream. Say, I wonder if the senator is in. Let's knock.
Somebody knock.
Yes,
Claghorn's the name, Senator Claghorn.
Look, I know.
Something tells me you don't remember me, son.
Look, I remember you.
I'm from the South. The bone and possum paradise.
Now, look, Senator.
The only plant life I have around my house is a Virginia creeper.
Now, wait a minute.
Every time I get chicken pox, there's Southern frying.
Senator.
Remember me now, son?
No.
Don't say no in my presence.
Why not?
N.O., that's North, abbreviated.
Senator, what about this sleeping problem?
When I first went to the Senate, I had plenty of trouble sleeping. After the roll was called, I'd put on my sailsucker nightshirt and my linsey woolsey beret.
Yeah?
And I'd face the south, lean back, close my eyes.
And go to sleep, huh?
Until some Yankee pigeon pucker would get up, start flapping his lips, and break up my Morpheus filibuster. Filibuster, that is.
Heard you the first time, Senator. Are you still losing sleep, Senator?
No, I've solved my problem, son.
How?
When I'm ready to sleep in the Senate, I sit back and croon myself my southern lullaby.
What is your southern lullaby?
Rock-a-bye, small fry on the cotton tree top. When the southern wind blows, your cradle will rock. When the wind's from the north, I say, baby, you'll bawl. For down will come cradle, tree, and you all.
Well, very good, Senator. The senator stopped just in time. I was dozing off myself. Now, I wonder how Titus Moody is doing. Howdy, Bub. You're starting to sound like Dennis Day, Titus. Mr. Moody, do you have any trouble sleeping?
I only half sleep.
Half sleep?
I got short eyelids.
With short eyelids, you can't close your eyes, huh?
Only when I frown.
Oh, I see. Well, are you the only one awake on the farm?
No, daylight saving time has got everything in a swivet.
The animals are bewildered?
Yeah. My cow had insomnia.
Your cow didn't sleep at all?
The bags under her eyes were so big, I didn't know which end to milk.
You were confused, eh?
Yeah. First time I milked the wrong end and got 2 buckets full of homogenized tears.
Well, have you cured the cow's insomnia?
I got a book on hypnotizing.
Good.
I stood in front of the cow.
Yeah?
I stared right into her eyes.
Uh-huh.
I started waving with my hand.
Uh-huh.
I said, Alakazam, Alakazam. You ain't a cow, you're a hen.
You're a hen. Well, was your hypnotism a success?
Yeah. Today that cow thinks she's a hen.
Well, how do you know?
Well, she's sitting on a nest.
You mean?
She's laying eggnogs.
Let's try this next door here.
No?
Oh, Mrs. Nussbaum.
You're expecting maybe Hoagie Carbuncle.
Tell me, Mrs. Ann, do you have trouble sleeping?
Who could sleep? Every night with his dreaming, my husband be Pierre is waking me up.
He dreams, huh?
Always his different things.
Dreams these different things? How do you mean?
One night, Pierre is dreaming he is the lone stranger.
Yeah?
All night long, he is yelling, Hi-ho, Silver.
Hi-ho, Silver, huh?
Upstairs is living on Mr. Silver.
Yeah?
All night, he is yelling back, Hi-ho, Nussbaum.
I see.
One night, Pierre is dreaming he is an automobile, a roadster.
A roadster?
In his pajamas, Pierre is sleeping with the top down.
Oh. Fine.
Once he is dreaming he is an Alka-Seltzer.
An Alka-Seltzer?
All night, Pierre is fizzing.
Well, no wonder. No wonder you can't sleep.
Last night, he should drop dead.
What happened?
He is dreaming he is a tea kettle.
A tea kettle, huh?
All night long, Pierre is whistling.
Whistling?
In the morning, when he is waking,
Yeah?
in bed with Pierre is 20 dogs.
That brings us to the lavender shanty at the end of the alley. Let's try here.
You knocked 3 times. Do you think that's nice? In my last picture, the postman rang twice.
Falstaff, you have new poems tonight?
Indubitably. Has Turd said the little bear to the big giraffe, let's eat a hyena just for a laugh?
No.
Or when I called her baby, her face lit up because she had a lantern jaw?
No.
How about this? Mother's home putting spikes in her shoes. She's playing first base for Vera Cruz.
Now, wait a minute, Falstaff. You exponent of the hackney, tonight we are discussing the problem of sleep.
My poem awaits your bidding.
And what is your shut-eye sonata called?
My recipe for slumber.
How does it begin?
If you cannot sleep at night and you don't know what to do, my recipe for slumber is just the thing for you. Don't waste time taking powders. Don't bother counting sheep. Don't dawdle in a hot bath hoping you will sleep. Don't give up drinking coffee. Don't send for any gland bath. You can eat and drink all night, and still you'll meet the Sandman. My recipe for slumber is older than the Sphinx. Just cut 20 tiddlies into halves, and you'll get 40 winks.
Well, thank you. Falstaff runs the cover. We turn to beat the DeMarco sisters. Accompanied by Maestro Al Goodman and his I Haven't Got a Joke for Them This Week Philharmonic, the DeMarco sing Doing What Comes Naturally.
Folks are dumb where I come from. They ain't had any larder. Still they're happy as can be. Doing what comes naturally. Folks like us could never fuss with school, books, and artists. Still we've gone from A to Z. Doing what comes naturally. You don't have to know how to read or write when you're out with a fella in the pale of moonlight. You don't have to come from a great big town, not to go picking berries in an evening gown. That comes naturally. That comes naturally. My uncle out in Texas can't even write his name. He signs his checks with X's, but they cash them just the same. Uncle Ben got angry when they caught him stealing chicken. I'm within my rights, said he. Doing what comes naturally. Why, naturally. Naturally.
And now a simple suggestion.
A suggestion about something good to eat makes us all take notice, so here's one for the book. Be smart when you spend your food dollars, ladies. Get the most for your money. Get Bluebonnet margarine, for it gives you flavor, nutrition, economy. All three. Yes, not just one, not just two, but all three. You get flavor, delicious flavor, fresh, delicate, country sweet. The fussiest eater in your family will tell you, gee, Mom, this tastes swell. Bluebonnet brings you proved nutrition, too. It's rich in food energy, rich in vitamin A. As for economy, you'll find Bluebonnet saves you real money. Costs just about half as much as an expensive table spread. And remember, Bluebonnet margarine is a product of the makers of Fleischmann's yeast, so you know it's pure, fresh, dependable. These days, your grocer doesn't always have Bluebonnet, for there's an acute shortage of table spreads, but keep asking. He'll have it. And when he does, grab it. Remember the letters FNE for flavor, nutrition, economy. Bluebonnet margarine gives all three: flavor, nutrition, economy. That was just a short order of Who Do You Love, I Hope, played by Maestro Al Goodman and his 40 men who...
This is Studio 6A,
Hey, wait a minute,
folks.
wait a
This
minute.
glass booth is the control room.
Say, just a minute.
That little man with the mildew on him is a vice president.
Say, wait a minute. What is this?
This is a Radio City 60-cent tour. Okay, folks, let's get to... Hey, wait a minute. I got a stowaway here.
A stowaway in a tour?
Only 15 people paid. Now I got 16.
Who would be low enough to sneak into a tour to save 60 cents?
There's the guy. Hey, you.
Who, me? Jack Benny.
Come on,
Jack.
60 cents out of your back.
Take your hand off my stock. Put me down. Yes, guys. Put Mr. Benny down. I'll give you the 60 cents.
Wait a minute, Fred. Wait a minute. Put that money away.
But, Jack.
I've only seen half the tour.
Well, Jack.
Give him 30 cents.
Here you are, guys.
Thanks. Follow me, folks. Now, on your right is a water cooler.
But, Fred, it was nice of you to pay that 30 cents.
Oh, it was nothing.
Nothing, he says. 30 cents.
Jack, how can you be so cheap?
All right, go ahead. Be like the other radio comedians. Tell some cheap jokes. Say I'm tighter than the skin on Sidney Greenstreet's hip. Squeeze a nickel so hard the E pluribus laps over the unum. Tell him.
Well, Jack, I didn't...
Oh, start insulting me after I made a special trip up here just to say goodbye before I leave for Hollywood.
Well, Jack,
All of a sudden I'm cheap. I won't even eat in the sun. My shadow might ask me for a bite.
Your shadow has teeth? Jack, don't get excited. Look, if you're cheap, you're cheap.
That's the way I look at it. Some people save asparagus ends. It's a hobby. My hobby is not spending.
Well, Jack, if there ever was a time that you and I should not argue, this is the time.
What do you mean this is the time?
Well, haven't you heard? A lot of the radio programs that have been on for many years have been canceled. They'll not be back on the air next fall.
Well, that's radio, Fred. It's dog eat dog. I always say only the fit survive.
Oh, how true. By the way, you finished tonight, didn't you?
Yes, sir. Tonight was my last show of the season.
Did your sponsor mention anything about your program coming back in October?
Well, no, Fred, but we have a mutual understanding. You see, we always sort of take it for granted.
Oh.
The season ends, the sponsor shakes hands with me, and then we... Yipe!
Jack, what's wrong?
Tonight he didn't shake hands.
Well, that's what's happened to the street singer. At the end of the year, his sponsor used to wink. One year he didn't wink. The street singer was back in the street.
But, Fred, why should my sponsor want to get rid of me? Well, I'm funnier than I was when I started, and I'm getting less money.
Really?
Some weeks when he's short, I take tobacco. I hate to get these big laughs on your program.
Let's face it, Jack. Radio needs new blood. Who knows? We may be through.
I've been in radio 14 years. They can't throw me aside like an old shoe.
But, Jack...
14 years. And now, like an old shoe.
But, Jack, you with that and yipe. 14 years is a long time.
Fred, what has Ma Perkins got that I haven't got? Only longer commercials.
Well, Jack, you know how it is in radio. Today you're a star. Tomorrow Ralph Edwards is hitting you in the face with a pie.
Like an old shoe.
Well, cheer up, Jack. At least we have our memories. We've known each other for 30 years.
Yep. The first time I met you, Fred, I was just a kid in school. $1, $1, a 10 o'clock scholar.
You were the only 10 o'clock scholar I ever saw with 5 o'clock shadow.
How I could use some of that fuzz today. I could use a good joke today, too.
The next time we met, we were in vaudeville, remember? You were doing a musical act.
Playing the violin. What a finish I had. When I played Glowworm, my violin lit up.
With those neon strings, it was beautiful.
Fred, remember my encore?
Encore?
Remember I'd put the violin bow in my teeth, bend the crab, and play Listen to the Mockingbird?
And as you bent the crab, 2 mockingbirds flew out of the back of your pants.
I stopped every show.
Except this one. Remember the closing...
This one stopped 5 minutes before I got on it.
Remember that week in Needles, Arizona, the closing act, Cohen's Camels?
Cohen's? No,
The closing act. Jack, how could you forget Cohen's Camels?
Cohen, I remember. My sponsor told me to forget that other word.
Those were the happy days. The next time I saw you, you were just going into radio.
I remember the morning Marconi called me up.
Marconi?
Marconi and Singing Sam had a little radio station in a doorway down on the east side. The antenna was a Western Union boy holding a wire.
Well, I guess
the jokes don't fit.
No, they don't.
The antenna. When did I ever say antenna on my own show? Go ahead, Fred.
Well, it's all over, Jack. We've come to the end of the rainbow.
Like an old shoe.
There it is again.
And on 10 minutes already, I've only had it's an old shoe. But I forgot antenna.
You ought to get a boot out of that old shoe by now.
Oh, I'm sorry I brought it back in again. Seems like only yesterday I ran into the May Company and said, Mary, stop demonstrating that Brillo. That's another word I don't know.
It goes on top of an antenna. Brillo fits on an antenna. Cheer up, Jack. When you're retired, you can tune in on my program.
Your program? You mean you're not getting thrown out of radio, too?
Well, why should I?
Listen, if my program is old stuff, you with that broken-down Allen's Alley.
No, well, wait, I mean my new show.
New show?
People don't want entertainment today. A radio show has to give away things. Nylons, iceboxes, automobiles.
You mean to stay on the air, you have to give things away? Free?
Yes.
I'll die first.
Well, not me. I'm auditioning my new program tonight.
And Fred, you're giving things away?
Tons of stuff.
The strangers?
What's the difference? Who gets it?
Well, Fred, as long as I'm here in the studio...
No, I'm sorry, Jack. Professional people cannot participate. It's a rule.
But don't you ever find people on these programs changing their names to get something for nothing?
Well, occasionally we do catch a phony, but we're on the air. What can we do?
Nothing. You have to give them the merchandise?
That's right.
Now, Mr. Allen, we're ready for your audition. I'll run along, Fred. So long.
So long, Jack.
Giving away things for nothing.
Well, all right, Mr. Goodman. Let's try out my new show.
How would you like to be king for a day? And here he is, the man who will change one of you nobodies into king for a day, the old kingmaker himself, Ray Allen.
Thank you, and good evening. Did all you folks in the audience like those $1,000 bills you found on your seats when you came in? Good. And if you want more, there'll be a big bag of money at the door. On your way out, help yourselves. But the stage is loaded with hundreds of presents for the first man to answer our jumbo jackpot question. He will be king for a day. And here is our first eager contestant. Good evening, sir. What is your name?
Abner Flog.
Mr. Flog, how old are you?
I'm 98.
98 years old.
And don't pin no orchid onto me.
No orchid, eh?
That's how I lost my wife.
On a quiz program?
Yeah. My wife was 102. A fella pinned an orchid onto her.
I see.
The weight of the orchid bent my wife over and snapped her spine.
Well, that's too bad.
Yeah, my wife won first prize, but she never knew it.
Well, all right, Mr. Flog. Now for our question. You may be king for a day.
I don't think I'll last through the day.
All right, we'll hurry. Tell me, who was the 6th President of the United States?
The 6th?
There were 3 names.
Mary Margaret McBride.
Oh. I'm awfully sorry, Mr. Flog. But for making such a swell try, here is a gift certificate presented at LaGuardia Airfield, and you will get a brand new B-29 and a polka dot form-fitting parachute. Happy landings, Mr. Flog. And here is our next potential King for a day. Your name, sir?
Myron Proudfoot.
Myron Proudfoot? You look like a chap I know.
I'm not interested in your friends. Start giving things away, brother.
What is your occupation, Mr. Proudfoot?
I'm a chaplain in a bakery.
What does a chaplain do in a bakery?
I put wings on angel cakes.
How long have you been in the cake business, Mr. Proudfoot?
Long enough to know a crumb when I see one. I see one.
Now, don't get sarcastic, Mr. Proudleg.
The name is Proudfoot, and make with the question.
All right. Who was the 6th President of the United States?
John Quincy Adams.
John Quincy Adams is correct, and Mr. Myron Proudfoot is king for a day. Folks, here he is, King Proudfoot. Well, Your Majesty, how do you feel?
Never mind how I feel. What do I get?
Well, first for His Majesty from Schnook Sport Nook, a genuine no-splash, beaver-board canoe paddle.
Canoe paddle? Oh, boy!
And with the compliments of Tiffany's, this chromium pitchfork.
Gee! A poor trunger, and it's all mine.
And from Hemingway's hardware store, 200 pounds of self-hardening putty for keeps for a day.
Just what I needed. Just what I needed.
This is just the beginning, King. King, you are over 35.
By 2 years.
Fine. Now, Jumbo Cotton, Uncle Jim, for His Majesty. He's over...
Effie, that's yipe backward.
And here, the piston rod from a genuine Baldwin locomotive for His Majesty the King. Oh, locomotive. And here, from Melody Lane Music Shop, this case of 2,000 soybean mandolin picks. These are the mandolin picks.
I just keep pinching myself to believe it.
Immediately after this program, Your Majesty will be guest of honor at a banquet at Hamburger Heaven. Tomorrow morning, through the courtesy of the Sanitation Department, you will be guest conductor on the 11.5 garbage run through the Bronx. At night, in your ermine robe, you will be whisked by bicycle to Orange, New Jersey, where you will be the judge in a chicken cleaning contest.
I'm king for a day!
And that's not all.
There's more?
Yes, we are going to start right now to make you look like a king. Sam of Sam's Super Shoe Shine Stand is here to brush your shoes. All right, Sam.
Sam, watch out for the button.
Next, the president of the Busy Bee Hat Cleaners is here to block your hat. Take the king's hat, Mr. Bumble.
And change the newspaper in the hat bag.
Your suit is a little baggy, King. Boys, take His Majesty's coat off.
Wait.
On our stage, we have a Hoffman pressing machine.
Now, wait a minute.
An expert operating the Hoffman pressing machine will press your trousers.
Now, wait a minute.
I've been waiting to catch you like
Alan,
this.
you haven't seen the end of me.
It won't be long now.
I want my pants.
Well, if you don't know what day today is.
Today is the day to get out the tall glasses. The iced tea season is here. Time to enjoy iced tender leaf tea, one of summer's main attractions. Yes, iced tea is raised to its ultimate best by the use of this richer blend. In fact, the iced tea season has played a big part in making tender leaf tea so famous for flavor. Flavor means more. It's more important through the summer months. So everybody sets out to get all the flavor going, and that leaves big tender leaf tea for finer flavor and more of it. In spite of melting ice, the rich goodness of tender leaf tea persists. The last swallow of the glass is still delicious, still flavorful tender leaf tea. As summer
This
comes
is
on,
NBC, the National Broadcasting Company.